motherfucker's guilty. That 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 motherfuckers.
I have no idea who that was, and I had no intro plan for this because we didn't really have a show plan for tonight, but that was fantastic. It was something from Twitter. Folks, it's Ryan Lindley. It's I don't know if it's blackballed, if it's getting sauced. It's just we haven't figured out a general use channel yet, so we're just doing it from here on our Twitters, on our Facebooks, on our Twitches, and I don't even know. I don't even know what Army Kris added, but I'm joined by my wife, my beautiful wife, Ashley Lindley.
Hi.
Army Kris is here as well.
Hello.
We had some interesting news today.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It wasn't interesting. It was exciting news.
God bless America.
You know, it's
For
one of
once.
those you wonder if there's anything left, right? Like you wonder, is everything done? Are we dead? Like, is there no use left for democracy and the rule of law?
Is it over?
And then somebody just turns around and says, well, 12 people turn around and say, no, you know what, motherfuckers? We got this. We got this. And it was 34 counts.
Gonna do
There
the
is
right
34 counts right there. That's 34 of them right there.
thing. 34
Oh,
counts.
man.
34 counts.
Taking me back to the 70s. I love it.
I can't believe it. I'm shocked. Like, and I'm no Trump fan, obviously. I'm also no like Biden guy either, but at the same time, like I don't give a shit. I don't live there, but
Yeah.
we obviously were spoon fed the media from
They're my
America.
favorite reality show, the United States of America. Favorite reality show.
It's pretty much, but you know what? He's the one that ushered that in, right? He ushered in reality show politics, really. Identity politics were solidified with a guy like him.
It's true.
And it creeps up here. I always say that America reminds me, and I have a lot of American friends, and I love America. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
When I go to the States, I love being there. Like I love going. I have a fucking awesome time when
I get
I'm there.
treated well when I'm down there. Man.
Same here.
We
Great
met
time,
great
treated
people from the
awesome.
States while
Yeah.
we were away. We love
Yeah.
them. Like,
I serve with a lot of Americans overseas. Fucking good people.
I
right?
love them. But let me tell you something. Since 2016, 2017, you know what I say? I say it reminds me of, you know, when you live in a duplex, but the people in the bottom floor are a meth lab, and those
Yeah.
fumes come up through the vent,
That's called
right?
Clairview, man. Up here.
Yeah, that's right. It's Clairview in Alberta. You're right.
2 kilometers away from here.
From Edmonton, yeah. Isn't that where Jimmy lives, or?
No, he lives in actually a place. He lives in like near Stony Plain Road. That's fucking. We always have bets going on how many emergency service vehicles are going to be going by at any given time. There you go.
looking
There
good
he
there,
is.
Jim.
Jimmy looks great. But I always say it reminds me of the meth lab downstairs because all of their problems end up seeping up through our vents, and we end up inhaling those fumes, right? And some people are susceptible to it because all we're just fed American media constantly. Like that's
Yeah.
all we see is American TV, American entertainment. And don't get me wrong, they do it well. They do it really well. They do it so fucking well that they hypnotize Canadians thinking that we're under the same spell. And it's terrible.
See, isn't
Right.
it funny that you use the word media now instead of news? It's
Right.
not news anymore.
Yeah,
It's the news
it is
media.
because it's
Media.
entertainment. It's really it's any
Not real news.
cable news is entertainment. I
Yeah,
don't care if it's CNN.
News is dead.
It's just consumable trash.
Yeah, CNN,
in.
Fox, American One, whatever the fuck it's called. Like all of that it's literally just entertainment. And they've proven this in court. Like remember when they took Tucker Carlson to court over the voting machine things, and they subpoenaed the text messages and stuff. He doesn't like Trump. He fucking hates Trump, and he makes fun of Trump outside of being on a camera, right? So Alex Jones, same thing. Alex Jones, I don't think Alex Jones actually does believe in the shit that he fucking spews, and then he ended up fucking around and finding out. But in the same sense, he literally, I'm just an entertainer. It's just entertainment. That's all we do is just entertainment. So whatever, you know what I mean? But I'm just happy that New York pulled their fucking socks up and said, enough is enough. We're going to find him guilty. And he's getting sentenced. Yeah, and he's getting sentenced on July 11th or whatever, which is 4 days apparently before the GOP nomination.
He's going to get a fine.
And you know what? And listen, I know he's going to appeal it. Obviously, he's going to use all of his resources. He's going to take everybody's money that he fucking begs for in donations to buy more lawyers to get it all the way to the Supreme Court, which he fucking owns anyway. So who knows what's actually going to happen in the end of the day? But all I care about is the actual
election in November.
Yeah, the actual wheels of justice worked right this time, and he was able to be found guilty.
But you know what I think? Here's what I think. He was found guilty, but who gives a fuck? There's like he just gave hope to like all these hundreds of thousands and hundreds of thousands of men wrongfully convicted that are in prison or whatever, mostly black in the United States. Now it's like, hey, I can become the president, man.
Well, apparently there's some.
You just gave hope to so many people.
There's scholars all over the internet right now that are talking about, you know what? There's nothing in here that says he can't be president from jail.
Nothing.
He just can't vote, so he can't vote for himself if he's actually locked up.
It's unbelievable. We live in I gotta tell you, guys, we live in the most interesting times right now. We're in World War III, and no one knows it. The next president of the United States is a convicted felon. And there's no such thing as real news anymore. Like, what the?
Like, what a bizarro world that we live in.
If I'm an alien coming here as the advanced party on the reconnaissance mission, I'd be calling back, going, "Yeah, fuck this planet, man. We're gonna move on. This place is right the fuck out of her."
Yeah, we didn't. We literally came up with the idea to do the show like 20 minutes ago. Chris and I were texting
all
back
drinking
and forth
all day long too.
No, I was at work. I was.
Were you? You're back.
You've been drinking
from vacation.
Yeah, I'm back from vacation.
Vacation.
I was cutting the grass, and Ashley made a nice dinner for us, and as we're standing there, we're just kind of like chatting on phone, and Kris just says, "Want to do a pod?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I do." Actually,
you want to make other people listen to our conversation?
I don't do it that often, but I'm like, "Fuck, let's do a pod." And he's like, I can tell if it's closer to the weekend. If it was Monday, you go, nah. But Thursday, he's like, fuck yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah, I'm working from home tomorrow. I'll be okay. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to like unwind and decompress before bed tonight. Right. I can
I had a shower. I know what I'm wearing in the morning. Let's do this.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Friday should be easy. I believe in the fucking 4-day work week, man. I really do.
Oh, but you know what? We're like, and I'm not going to get into it. My grown-up job doesn't belong here, and we're in the middle of a thing. So it's like, it's busy where I am right now. So this week has been hell, and every night I've been coming home, and I've just been a bear.
He's mentally tapped.
Yeah, but you know what? I thought this is a good way to not be, and we'll just do this instead.
Just put that shit over there for a fucking minute.
Yeah,
it's good though.
Enjoy.
You didn't even want to admit that you were being bitchy.
Yesterday.
At this point, yesterday.
Yeah,
and you were in full denial.
Oh yeah.
And then you finally cracked. and you know what it was? And I've heard this before, and I finally tested it out. But it's like when your spouse is being a bit of a dick, you just kind of match energy and go one step higher. And then you broke, and I was like, "Oh my god, it actually works! It's brilliant."
You're not supposed to tell me this.
Oh, I know.
Well, now that I know this,
you'll forget next time.
No, I won't. I'm just gonna do the same.
So I just
time.
went one level above Ryan, and he was like, "Yeah, you know what? I am being a bit of a dick today." And I was like, "There you are. Now let's actually talk about it. This is great. Let's
feels
have a
like
nice
we're on
evening
Dr.
now."
Phil right now.
Yeah, no, it's
mind freaked him. It was awesome.
It's big shit, and it's hard to a lot of the stuff doesn't translate at home, right? Like I work in a very specific job, and it's not
Very
something
niche.
I can bring it home and bounce it back and forth with people, and nobody gets it. So it's like it's tough I can only do it with people inside my circle in the office, but they're not here.
But as much as he says this, Ryan has no problem when he is super frustrated, simplifying something and saying, this is kind of the basics of what we do. This is what's actually happening, and this is why I'm frustrated. And I'll say, okay, so this person should have probably just done this. And he's like, well, shit, why don't you work here? Like, it's just, you get it better than the people that have the job.
Ryan Ryan is the WKRP news copter, fucking taking over from Les Nessman.
I know how to like make analogies. Analogies is like I'm an analogy
He breaks
king.
it down pretty well for me.
And I'll find a way to somehow relate it to something else that is relatable and do it that way. But anyway, enough about me being an asshole.
And me being a mind freak.
And you being you're a PMSy bitch this week is
I
what
know,
you are.
and that's why it was easy to take
Yeah.
it to
No,
a
you're-
whole nother level.
Like we're talking, Chris, we're talking. No, Chris,
Okay, I'm
we're
back.
we're talking. If a fucking puppy dog commercial comes on the TV, we're in tears level this week.
I'm
I don't know
sorry.
what the fuck is going on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But instead of saying, I'm fine, nothing's wrong, like Ryan does, I said, I am a raging hormonal bitch right now.
Which you can't do anything for
super
anyway, so
sorry.
you might as well say I'm fine.
Put the kettle on, I'm going to make tea, and that's about all you can do to help
Throw
right now.
fucking
And give
chocolate
me a
bars at
hug.
her.
I stopped arguing with women like 20 years ago.
Smart man.
You are smart.
No, because if you get in an argument with a woman, and if anybody listening or watching later or now, whatever, here's how it goes. Here's my words of wisdom as a 53-year-old man who's
Okay.
fucking had more relationships in the rear view than the front view. If you get into a fight with a woman and you end up being right, they're mad that you're right. And if you get in a fight with a woman and they're right, they're mad. So if they're going to be mad, concede in advance and improve your life. Right?
Yeah,
that's the way I
absolutely.
look at it. I see no point in arguing with them anymore.
Oh,
None. There you go. Miss is always right. I'm good
Yeah.
with that.
yeah.
Now,
Ryan's just says
but
Mr.
there's
Right.
a lot of things you don't say to women.
Just.
You know, like because when they start going off, they're like, "Are you listening to me?" I'm like, "Well, I hear you. I'm not listening. If you want to be honest,
I hear
fucking
you.
like that."
There is a sound coming from your
the
mouth.
hole.
Or when there's men will never understand women ever. If it wasn't for the whole sex thing, we'd be at war. I'm telling you right now.
That's true.
Right?
Ryan's a
Like
pretty
when
good
when they're
listener.
mad at you and they're quiet,
Pardon?
so you say, "Fuck it, I'm going to go to the bar." And then she goes, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm going to the bar. You're not talking to me. I got no fucking reason to stay here." Like they don't like that either. There's a lot of shit you learn along the way.
Our town's so small that I used to work at that bar.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
Like that, I
Yeah.
like that bar. I like
You do like that bar. You were at that
Fucking
bar.
nice.
I
I
forgot.
like that bar, man.
That's
You
a
were.
good
That's
bar.
right.
Great
Good
bar.
little bar.
We had a good little time there.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons, and this is going to sound so funny because we're talking about Trump, but we're also on like we're the two food guys of the internet on our side of things here. Like our old network, that's what we did, right? It was food. Yeah, and I titled this podcast, "The Guy Who Eats His Steaks Well Done with Ketchup" was convicted today. And I think he should have been convicted of that before he was convicted of anything else.
Oh, shit.
35 counts.
34.
No, with the steak.
Oh, with the steak is 35. You're
Not the
absolutely
35th
right.
one, yeah.
Remember the Trump steak thing?
Yeah, no, I remember.
Remember he had
Yep.
Trump
yeah,
steaks?
Yeah.
It was like an Omaha Steaks. He just put his
Unbelievable.
name on it or
That's
something.
like
Go to my school. Eat my meat.
my ex-in-laws from Panoka.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to know where Panoka is in Alberta, just drive on Highway 14 till you hit the Burning Cross and then hang a right down the road.
Sounds like a great neighborhood.
That's Panoka. And they want either HP, well done, or ketchup. I'm going, well,
They lived at the corner
Okay.
of Clan Drive and Grand Wizard Way.
pretty much, yeah. You know,
I find
yeah.
HP sauce to be absolutely repulsive.
So you're wrong. You're wrong. That was
It's
made by appointment of the
horrendous.
Queen, for
That's
Christ's
correct.
sake.
Yeah.
British
And-
HP
Watch
sauce.
your
is
mouth.
British.
I'm half English and I don't want it anywhere near
Watch
me.
your mouth. On
Nowhere near me.
eggs? Oh, steak and eggs with
I was
HP?
gonna- okay, Ryan, you just saved the day. As two guys who are into cooking, the only thing I've ever used it for is on eggs. Because here's the thing,
100%.
I don't really know what the fuck it is.
It's like a fruit-based sauce, apparently. Like
Is
it's like a fermented
It's
fruit-based.
a bit bitter.
But
A
they
little
make,
bit,
they
but it's
make
sweet,
A
it's
fruity
tangy.
One, though.
They
It's like
do
the-
make a
the
fruity
Brits-
one.
The Brits call it a brown sauce over
Brown
there.
sauce.
Right? Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah.
I don't know
Yep.
what the hell it is, but I like it on my scrambled
don't
eggs,
either.
man. Won't
They
lie.
don't. Yeah, I think that's
They
what it
don't
is. They
either.
don't know
They
what
don't
it
either.
is.
Let's just call it brown sauce. What's in it? We
Yeah.
don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's brown and flavor and some water.
Yeah.
Get it together.
I don't know. I think
I don't know what it is. I don't own it. I haven't owned it in years.
A1 is one I won't eat. I can't eat A1 sauce
Isn't
on
A1
anything.
just a knockoff of HP?
I think so. I think it was like America's version of HP, and it was an absolute flop.
Fucking America won. Fuck HP. We're the best. We invented porn and the internet, everything.
The A's first and the ones first, so we're gonna call it.
Yeah, A1 feels very much America to me. It's like that's an HP knockoff. What engaging conversation we're having here.
Well, listen. This is the shit people want to talk about because you're talking about a guy.
A1.
You're talking about a guy.
Get a Twitter poll going in real time.
Feel free to let us know in the comments how you feel about
actually.
People are like, "What the fuck is that?"
What are they talking about?
Honestly, I'd rather have the ketchup.
The only thing I put barbecue sauce on is chicken. That's it, and ribs.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something about ketchup and steak.
True, you made that flatbread this week.
Yeah, but
tell me about ketchup.
That was chicken though.
Break my heart.
True.
I got a steak story for you in a minute too.
Well, this is where I'm going with this. So Ashley and I start dating, okay, and this is why. Again, this is where.
What year was this?
This was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we start and we decide to one day, and this is I had to pull my entire Weber kettle and bring it over to Ashley's parents' house to do this because I was like, I'm not cooking these steak. I had these beautiful, beautiful filet mignons.
Not touching propane.
They're not going on propane. Girl, I need them on charcoal, right? So,
but her brother Kris is an amazing chef.
Well, we did. Kris wasn't there for this one, but he was there for another one.
Okay.
We did recreate this one night later on down the road. After I think we were already married at that point, actually. But we brought the charcoal grill. And we got these beautiful steaks, and it was like 4 steaks. It was almost $100. They were huge, like they were just nice big fillets, right? Beautiful, beautiful steaks.
Yeah.
Cooked them perfectly, 1,000 degrees, medium rare, fucking awesome. And we plated them. We got these like great garlic we did loaded baked potatoes, and I think we did asparagus or something on the side. Just like a full rounded plate. It was great. We brought it to the table, and I'd never been with her parents at this point to eat anything. And don't worry, this does tie into the Trump thing, everybody. If you're here for us making fun of Trump, we're still doing that. It's fine. We'll come back around. Yeah, we're sitting at the table and all good. Like it's like this is beautiful. It smells nice. We got nice ambient music going. Everything's good. And then all of a sudden, doesn't Ashley's mom get up and go to the fridge and get a bottle of ketchup?
That's right.
See, I've lived your pain, bro.
You can watch. If there was a camera watching, you would have seen my heart. You know that Ralphie thing in Simpsons when he says you can see the minute his heart fucking explodes and breaks in half. Yeah. I'm watching this probably $30 steak get just like doused in ketchup, and I'm like, so I changed my viewpoint from that point on. Where I used to be that diehard, you're getting it medium rare and you're getting it the way it is, or you're not getting. I'll make you a hot dog. Just let me know. I'll just make you hot dogs. I don't care. Then I realized that you got to stop thinking that way. I'm just going to cook things the way they are. If you want it changed, you change it yourself. Tastes are individual. You do your own thing. That's fine.
It can still hurt your heart though.
It's still valid. Oh my God, it's
totally
still
valid.
So then I heard the Trump well done steak thing, and it brought that rage right back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
I thought he was a dick, but then I thought he was an absolute psycho when I found out.
What have you done for my mother
100%.
50 times since that day?
I just texted you a picture of a tomahawk I did two nights ago.
I don't know how I can't put it on the screen. If you text it to me, you gotta email it. Okay.
I bet it was sexy though.
Oh yeah, that's a pan seared, nice, very nice.
Reverse seared in the pan. Anyways, the guy that is a buddy of mine, military guy, was helping me frame up my basement. Like I'm in the middle of full on fucking renovations. I said, I want to give him a good steak.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I'm going to tell you something. I normally eat my steak with ketchup. I said, okay. So what I learned from my outlaws back in the day is I don't give a fuck what you do with it. I cook it one way. I don't cook to your temp order. I only cook it one way. What you do with it after that, once I put it out there, is up to you. If you want to put ketchup on it, fucking fill your boots. He was like, well, I don't want to do it. He never ended up. I put the ketchup bottle, which had it's probably for 16 years old because I don't use ketchup around here.
Yeah.
I said, here it is. It's on the table. If you want to use it.
What color was it?
I didn't look, man. It was one of those inverted fucking things.
Oh.
ketchup has no function around here unless you're using it to make something else, like your own barbecue sauce or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, we
So
like to.
I said, here it is. You put it on there, but I said, before you use ketchup, most people use ketchup to mask the blandness,
flavor.
the shittiness,
Yeah.
the flavor. They're enhancing
sure.
it. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate ketchup. I love ketchup. I like fancier ketchup, but anyways, I said, try the fucking steak
Dijon
first.
ketchup.
Dijon ketchup, 100%.
A nice Reliant automobile.
If I had $1 million,
right?
I would buy the Dijon
So,
ketchup.
he ate the steak and did not put ketchup on it. He goes, wow, it's really good. I said, yeah, it's the difference in a good steak. Like, you don't need ketchup.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't learn that until I met Ryan.
I had cousins. It was just drowned scrambled eggs and ketchup. I'm like, fuck, man.
I'll dip them, but I won't drown them.
I don't mind ketchup with fries once in a while, but it's gotta be like a bare ass
so
ketchup.
much ketchup.
I
I go to McDonald's. I get a McChicken sauce packet and I mix it.
I can turn.
ketchup.
Do you know you can make explosives out of ketchup?
What?
Stop it.
Not
Only you.
shit you
Yeah,
got, man.
only
It's not
you.
in prison.
Do tell.
Yeah,
Only you.
so you let it ferment and sit, and on the top you can skim glycerin off of that, and then from that you can mix. I'm not going to get into it because.
Oh my
fuck
God!
complicated.
Yeah. I was going to say they're going to shut our YouTube channels down.
You can,
Some
there's
TV,
there's an ingredient on skimmed glycerin that comes out of ketchup that can be turned into a. You can high order it. We'll just leave it there.
Damn.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
Welcome to Prison Tips 101 with Army Chris. Yeah, man, that's a real thing.
Dad never taught me that one.
Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah, it's true. That's right. Your dad
and-
probably. Well, he made like pasta sauce in a prison
It's true.
toilet, didn't he?
He was prison soft.
Yeah.
No, you can make ketchup explode.
Sorry, I think the dog farted underneath me. He's like somewhere in this region, and it's
She
not.
blames
it's
the
not
dog.
Breaking
no.
barbecue. There you go, Michelle. Yeah, no, it's a legit thing. I don't want to get too far into it, or Ceases will be banging on all of our doors. So we'll leave it
Yeah,
alone.
pretty much. That's
So
so
for
funny.
the record, I'm a qualified military bomb guy, and I know all the secrets. I'm not fucking teaching you nothing. I'm just letting you know. I didn't learn this in jail. I'm just telling you.
Oh, this is so good. We get a comment saying zero substance in this live stream. Can we talk about the U.S. president threatening a foreign statement and firing about? Dude, do you know where you are?
I have a great idea. Why don't you start your own fucking podcast?
Yeah, you just fuck right off from here.
Who's this guy?
Fuck.
What's
No
he saying?
idea.
Zero substance. Yeah, we didn't
In
really
this
plan
live-
on doing this there, buddy.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you don't
a-
have to
We
watch.
came
We're
to
here to
talk
have a
about
fun
one
time.
thing. We
Watch
spin
Oprah,
it
man.
off into a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
welcome
fun.
to the.
Why don't you come back and tell us what the score is between the Rangers and the Panthers, man?
Fuck's sakes.
Damn.
So funny.
If I'm the one telling you to get fucked, you know you're having a bad day.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
all I'm
much.
saying.
Like
I love the guys that hang in your whole pod and bitch about the content. I'm like,
afterwards.
don't
Yeah.
you
Thanks for
go
coming.
do something.
This is start
You
your
know,
own goddamn show.
To be
Yeah,
fair
you
to the
talk to
guys,
your
this
friends.
is unplanned. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're unplanned. man.
Oh,
We're just
you don't
freestyling.
have
This is
anybody
not a
to
show.
talk to
This
about
is
it.
not.
No,
This is not.
a show. It's not a planned show. I was
Yeah.
supposed to be on a planned show tonight. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
So if you were here for the whole thing, you would have heard that part.
Yeah, but you weren't. So fuck off. Yeah, look, we'll change the logos.
There you
Fucking
go.
look, we're everybody's
Look,
show tonight.
where we
Hey, fuck.
This is like Seinfeld, the show about nothing.
Yes.
It's pretty much
Right?
it. But yeah, we do have we started about Trump. We're talking about Trump. We're talking about the guy getting
Trump's gonna win. I'm telling you
We
right
even
now.
said we're going to come back around to it.
I don't think it's positive, to tell you the truth. At the end of the day, for a
I don't
guy
know what it
like for the Democratic Party, that's for sure. I don't think
I'm
it's
more
gonna.
worried about what happens here.
You know what is pretty damning is the other shit that came out. So that guy that was his showrunner or something for The Apprentice, his NDA expired today or yesterday,
My,
and he started
that'll be
talking.
interesting.
I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, he started talking, and apparently, it was something about Omarosa. Remember, Omarosa was on the
yeah.
show,
Yeah, they were always button heads.
and
Yeah.
people wanted her to win,
Mhm.
and he literally asked, "Yeah, but what will America think if an N-word wins?"
Stop it.
Swear to God, and he quotes this in.
That's
Oh
what
my
Trump
God.
said.
It's a 12. It's apparently a verified quote.
He didn't type it like he spoke this with
No,
his
he
mouth?
spoke this to the guy, and there was people there, and
Oh.
they've corroborated it and everything else. But I was
Oh
like,
my
holy
God.
shit!
Yeah,
You know,
checks
like
out.
So this guy, you got to watch. So this is a different guy than the other guy remember the guy that came out like a year or two ago saying
No,
that
I don't really read the news anymore because they'll start punching holes in my fucking wall.
It's not even really news. It was like he was like some guy said, oh, I was the one that was in charge of getting him his adult diapers and everything. So it didn't seem very credible, but it was like he did work with him and nobody really came out and refuted it. And it was, but I guess he just didn't care about this NDA. But the NDA that this guy signed that was talking yesterday or today, I can't remember his name. I'll have to look it up. But he apparently that NDA included if you violate the NDA, it's a $5 million penalty. And so now all of a sudden it's softened. I don't know if it's entirely quashed or if it's just like it releases in segment. I don't know how it worked, but apparently it was a pretty intricate one. So he never said a word. He never said a word until like the day it was like, okay, everybody. And it just happened. It happened on the same week that Trump was on trial in New York for 34 counts of.
Well, you know what he can do?
Fraud.
He can do what every fucking Navy SEAL's doing. Start a podcast and write your own book.
That's all.
That's some timing though, isn't it?
Sure.
That's what I thought. I thought it was so.
Write a book. That's what they all almost do. They write books.
What a shit.
It was almost karmic, you know.
Like, I don't. That's gonna be on him.
Yeah, I don't believe in that shit, but holy shit, like
unleash the hounds.
The timing was just epic. So
I gotta ask you guys something though.
Yeah,
seriously,
man.
Like, because pretend I'm completely fucking ignorant.
Okay,
Western.
You're from Edmonton. That's fine.
Yeah,
should be easy.
Like, why can't Trump pay Stormy Daniels off to shut the fuck up? Like, feels like a good deal.
Well, he did. It was a matter of how he did it.
Mm-hmm.
It was
okay. Oh, that's what it is. The fraud.
It was a matter of how he did it. He did it through a lawyer and used like company money.
See, I don't track this shit. I'm like, if you could pay some fucking hooker or stripper off to shut her mouth, I think you should be allowed to do that.
They actually had like
that
like
piece
the
like
receipts for
a
him
mutually
paying
binding agreement between two people.
Yeah, it was hidden as a payment to his lawyer for services rendered.
Mm-hmm.
But the lawyer then relinquished it to Stormy Daniels, right? So
okay. I checked out some of her videos. She's not that good.
And like now, I don't think he's got a lot of money kicking around.
No, I just sold a plane. He's selling off all his shit on Kijiji or what's it called in the States? Craigslist.
Craigslist. Yeah.
He's flogging all his shit, man. I said, buddy, some rich fucking Republican guy, I'll buy your fucking plane, man.
Craigslist is whack. There's like whole sections of that thing where it's like, do you need a coffee table? Give me a hand job. Like
Trump's selling off all his fucking shit, man. Which I think's fair as well. Let's be honest. If I have a coffee table for sale and I say $50 or a handy, it's a mutually binding agreement, man. It shouldn't be a fucking conversation.
As long as it's
tender
between both adults.
It was tendered.
People get all wrapped about this. And it's like, whatever, man. I think it's fair.
Oh, that's funny. Linda she said it was no. She just said it was considered a campaign contribution because he was hiding it to benefit his election campaign.
Okay,
I guess in a roundabout way, that's kind of right.
But did it benefit?
Not. I guess not. I guess it was not a happy ending.
There you go.
The problem with the polarization down in the States is everything to persecute him just feeds the right wing machine.
Yeah.
It does.
And that's kind of it. And all it does
which is fucking not right, but it's working.
He's in a cult. Like he's a cult leader. He really is. He's a cult leader. He created a cult of people, a cult of personality. Yeah. And if you look at what cult leaders do and how they rope people in, everything he's done is to that book. Like it was literally fucking talked about that he had like Hitler's book, Mein Kampf, was a bedside reading material for him.
That's
he
what I was
knows.
gonna say. I think it's more like dictatory than cult.
But here,
I mean for the people, like for the
you get it. It's a cult following.
There was people crying outside of the courtroom today, or outside of the courthouse, crying, praying for him while the jury was out. Like that's a cult. Like you're in a cult.
Which is whack.
But I mean, I'll tell you what, if you want to broaden your mind, you should read Mein Kampf. You should read the Quran, because I've read the Quran. It was part of my training. Had to.
Isn't that like somebody? Oh yeah, I'm not going to talk about it because then all of a sudden our house will be on fire if we talk about it.
No. But you should be like, you can't, if you want to broadband your intellect, you have to go left and right.
Oh, of course. No, you should read everything,
No
and
doubt.
or at least read the Cole's notes.
Like,
yeah.
You know where my best source of news is? I always go with 3 independent sources: BBC World News, not CNN.
AP?
Number 2 is Al Jazeera, and
Al Jazeera is great. Yeah, Al Jazeera is awesome.
Great, right?
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's fucking goddamn Islam, fucking right wing. No, it's not. It's actually a good news source. Your best 3 news, the closest thing to real news is BBC World,
Reuters,
AP,
and
Reuters. So
Reuters and AP are the same thing, I think. Really, in my
Al
eyes.
Jazeera. And if you want to know what's going on wherever, read kind of in between those 3 sources, and you're gonna get a better fucking idea of what the hell's going on the planet.
I think that's pretty solid advice.
Yeah. No, I agree. You don't pigeonhole yourself, and don't because then you become just as bad as them.
Back in the day, you could pick up the Toronto Sun, Toronto whatever the other one is, the fucking Edmonton Journal, Calgary Herald, or, the Sun, whatever, and get news. Like, the paper delivery there was real news, and it's not like that anymore because they're owned by major corporations which pay money into fucking politics. This is not a new thing. It's a shitty thing, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. See, this is a good point too. Our friend Obsessive Audio, he was at the food truck event. Actually, we met with him. He said the day we reduce sedition to a prostitution charge will be the day that I'm in the street screaming. And I totally understand. This is the same way they got Al Capone, though. Al Capone was one of the fucking biggest gangsters.
Yeah.
He was one of the biggest gangsters in history, but they got him on a tax charge. But they got him. That's the point, right? They'll find a way to get you. And it's always, with these fucking guys, it's always money. It's always follow the money. That's where that term comes from. Just follow the fucking money.
You're right, but here's the thing. Nothing's going to happen to him. He's going to get fined. So millions of dollars are spent on this fucking trial. He's not going to go to jail. Like, do you think he's going to?
No, but he's got a criminal record now. You know what I mean? Like that's a big. That should still be a big thing. He can
still be the president. He doesn't give a fuck if he's got a print. There's a difference if you and I have a criminal record because we're not billionaires.
I'm wondering what's going
with a criminal record doesn't impact their lives, and the fact that you can still continue your campaign and that over 50% or 51% of the United States is still going to vote for you. Your criminal. Once he's a fucking president, he's gonna fucking pardon himself, man. Like, it's
I wonder what's gonna happen. Like, what's gonna happen though with the Republican Party in the United States right now? Like, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, at what point do they need to actually stop and go, fuck, we got to stop backing this guy and find somebody else? You know what I mean?
Can we not find another guy?
Do you know what made me really sad the other night? So the other night I wasn't feeling so hot, so I was like laying on the couch and just kind of like flipping through shit. And we've got
Toronto Maple Leafs trade decisions coming.
HBO has a documentary out right now about the life of John McCain. And you watch a documentary about a guy like John McCain. That guy was just a solid guy. Like, he was a POW, the guy that Trump would call a loser and a sucker. By the way, he said that real heroes don't get caught and put in prisoner camps.
I remember
that.
Donald Trump was never fucking served a day in the military.
Yeah, no, he had
shin splints.
He had splints. Remember, he had shin splints. He couldn't do it.
Those will get you.
Fucking things, every time. The more money you have, the more shin splints you get. But what's going to happen? Like, what happened to the Republican Party that embraced a guy like McCain, who I remember, and they actually played it in that documentary of McCain's life, where he was on the campaign trail against Obama, and a lady stood up because of shit that Trump was saying. Remember, with the birth certificate bullshit, and she was saying, "I know Obama's an Arab, and I don't trust him." And blah blah. And
he's
and
an Arab.
John McCain stopped her and said, "Ma'am, that's not correct.
That's not accurate."
Yeah, Barack Obama's a good guy. He's a good human being. He's a good man. We just believe different things. We believe in different things and different priorities. You can't say things like that. Like, that was, give me a guy like that And you'd be hard pressed to sway me from a vote for that
Well,
guy.
but
You know what I
again,
mean?
that
Standing
guy
up
is
for what's right is easy. Just not enough people
that's
do
the guy
it.
that's
a good
like
quote.
what we're
You're right.
looking for. That is left and right center. Like I'm right center, and I like left center guys.
Yeah.
You know, I look at this Lunchmeat Singh guy and go, fuck.
Lunchmeat Singh.
Taliban Jack Layton, the late Jack Layton, rest in peace, is rolling in his fucking grave.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
To be.
Do you know if he would have? And this is what I said. This is what I always said. If guys like Jack Layton and John McCain survived, we'd be in a totally different world right now.
Totally different world.
Jack Layton would be our prime minister at this point, guaranteed.
I can't handle. And what pisses me off the most, and welcome to the podcast where we do talk about politics, religion, and race.
No, we're just chatting. You know what I mean? Like
it just boggles. What pisses me off is Canadian adaptation of American polarization. It's not
and identity politics. We've never subscribed to this in this country in the history.
Like, we were never like that, and suddenly we're extreme left and extreme right. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, I didn't grow up this way. I grew up.
Is this the country you defended?
Yeah, and it's not the same fucking country, man. It's
know what I mean? Like this is
so polarized, right or left. Like, find the middle. Like, I was always a conservative. I am a conservative guy. But
that's why they got rid of Aaron O'Toole, everybody.
But
just
I also
so you know.
believe, fuck that guy.
Well, that's why they got rid of him, was because he was too center.
No, anyway, he was too center, but he wasn't the right guy. I don't think this next fucking guy who's going to win.
He's definitely not the right guy. Yeah.
No, he's not the right guy. There's never going to be a right guy. But yeah, okay. So I take that back with O'Toole. He was kind of centerish, but that's where we need to get back to.
That's what we need.
You can be a conservative, but respect liberal values, and you can be a liberal and go, say, yeah, there's some good conservative ideas over here. We need to kind of do the right things. The country is so fucking big and so different. I've been to the fucking coast to coast. I've been to everywhere in this country, everywhere.
Yeah.
And I get that. I've been seeing you guys in Ontario and stuff, and everybody has different needs, different wants. And it's like, don't get me wrong, the hardest job in the world must be being the prime minister. I wouldn't want that fucking job. Like,
who does? Anytime you're, and I've never
might want it.
I worked in politics for over a decade, right? And
I couldn't do it.
One thing, yeah, and you know what? The one thing I could never wrap my head around was the way people have this. They find this weird license to talk. And I'll include Trump in this. I'll include Pierre Poilievre in this. I'll include Maxime Bernier in this kind of thing.
Oh, Bernie.
And Justin Trudeau, obviously, and Biden on the other side. But I'll include everybody in this. The license people find to be able to think that just because now you're a politician, I can treat you like a piece of dog shit. Like I can talk to you like you're not a fucking human. Mm-hmm. They're still human beings, you know what I mean? Like, and I get it. You might not agree with their policies, but what happened to the Canada that I grew up in, where if you didn't agree with somebody's policies, you just said, I don't agree with you, and this is why I think my idea is better. And people went, oh, I like his idea, I'm going to vote for him. And then the other guy said, well, hang on, I can, you know what? I understand where you're coming from, but the way we want to do it is this way. And then people are like, I'm going to vote for him. That was how that's how democracy was working. Like, and it was working well, and it was quiet, and it was peaceful, and it was nice.
And now we just vote guys out. I'm sick of you and voting you out, not in. We don't even think about who we're voting in. We just think about who we're voting out. And that's at provincial level, federal level. Fucking my biggest advice, since we're stuck on this politics thing.
Well, we're not stuck. We're just moving around.
No, but where you should worry about is your mayor, your city council.
Yeah,
because we have the lowest ones in the world. The lowest voter turnout is in the city of Edmonton is fucking ridiculous, and we have the worst city council, the worst fucking mayor ever, blowing money on shit we don't need. Those are the things that directly impact your life.
Absolutely.
I told the story.
Impact your life.
Exactly.
You've got to focus on what you can control in your actual community.
So I'm just worried about who the PM is going to be. Like,
focus on your community. Make it the best thing that it can be for you.
Yep.
And then that branches outwards when other communities around you see what you've done.
But you see, what the adversaries have done is they've taken that. They know that's the way that a normal thinking person sees things, and this
Yeah.
is so. I started my politics in municipal as well with a counselor. I worked as a community liaison for a ward counselor, and then I got into provincial and federal stuff afterwards, and then I got out because it was just too ugly. I didn't want anything.
Yeah.
I didn't want anything to do with it. Right. So what? So I'll start here. Was what I was always taught, and it was funny because nobody ever thinks of it. I want you to look at your paycheck. I want you to go to your paychecks right now, everybody. Today's Thursday. A lot of people got paid today.
Yep.
Go to your pay stub today, and I want you to look at the provincial and the federal taxes that are taken off of that paycheck. It's big. Like mine is fucking enormous. It's insane. Like you know what? Like it's bad. Ashley's is fucking ridiculous. And then what I want you to do after you've done that, I want you to go and I want you to look at your municipal tax bill that you pay every year for your house. And when your taxes get right? Couple of $1,000, right? For the entire year. Now I want you to, okay. So perfect. Actually the great example, $4,600, right?
Yeah.
So now I want you to take all the services that you take advantage of in your house, in your city, in your province, and in your country. And I want you to ask me where your best value for money is. Ask me.
Where is it, Ryan?
It's in municipals because you're paying
100%.
you're paying $4,600. You know what? You know what you're getting? Your garbage picked up every week. The water's coming through the tap. Your fucking house gets robbed. Maybe not you, Kris. You've got a fucking arsenal in there. But the police are coming.
Probably not your house.
Your house starts on fire. The fire department's going to show up. All that shit, your street lights, your street potholes, your fucking all this bullshit, the flower beds in the middle of the street to make it look nice.
Love that shit.
All that shit comes out of that $4,600.
And the big part is, if you don't like the services you're getting, you have an opportunity to fucking vote to change it, to make it better.
Not even just, but now get this. Not even that.
You don't even have to
this is the
vote.
best part. This is the best part. I'd like you to find out who your city council, your local ward counselor is. I'd like you to find out who your provincial member of
mine is. Yep.
Find out who your provincial member of parliament is, and I would like you to find your federal member of parliament. And I would like you to try to phone them tomorrow and see who calls you back first. And see who actually phones you back. You'll get an assistant from the other two, but you might actually get the counselor calling you. You might actually get the counselor's guy like me. That was my job. I used to be the liaison. I used to call. When my guy couldn't call you, or he was off doing something else and he wanted it done right away because you needed something fixed. Your neighbor's fucking dog was barking too much. I'm the guy who got your bylaw officer there to fucking tell him, shut your fucking dog up. The tree's overgrowing.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who sent the tree crew out to cut your tree down.
Fucking Nazis show up my house.
This is what I'm saying. You know, like, so your value for money comes out of your municipal pocket. So
I agree.
I heard this and I'm like, okay, I get that. It makes sense to me, like on paper. So back in, I think it was in 2000 or 2001.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right. I'll save the rest of the story because you're going to like this. It involves Bill Clinton, meeting Bill Clinton and what he said to me.
Quick reload. I'll be right back.
Quick. All right.
It's puppies. I have a fat dog.
I know. Look at him.
Him to snuggle.
Look at him.
Very sweet. No, you're talking.
Anyway,
about,
welcome to the
dogs.
impromptu podcast, everybody. I'm glad everybody was able to join us. We didn't plan on doing a show tonight, but obviously with the news, it's a good one to get on and chat about. Donald Trump was found guilty of all 34 charges he was facing in New York court today, which is again, like I say, it gives me every once in a while. You think you lose hope in certain institutions in government and in certain institutions, especially in America, because America's like upside down. It's a gong show down there when it comes to politics, right? And it's happening here. It is slowly creeping this way. But you get these little glimmers of hope that it's like, okay, maybe things are right. I don't care. You know what? If he doesn't spend one day in prison, fine. I don't fucking care. I really don't. I don't care what happens with the guy. I don't like it. It would be nice if he was treated the same way you or I would be treated if we were found guilty on 34 fucking counts of criminal fucking felonies. But if it doesn't happen, whatever. It's still on the record. The people have spoken. There's a jury of his peers that found him guilty. The system does that part of it works. Now what happens after here? Who knows? Because he's going to appeal it. He's going to appeal it all the way to the Supreme Court, and he's going to get there, and all of his buddies are there, and it's going to be hard for them to actually come up with a way to clear him of all 34 of those charges. So even if they clear him of 10 of them, that still leaves 24, right? Like even if they clear him of 20 of them, that still leaves 4. I don't care as long as there's one felony left at the end of the day. He's fucking guilty.
That's
you know what I mean?
good.
You're guilty and you are now a convicted felon.
34 is horrendous. 1 is enough.
And the only thing I see from like I say, that MAGA Trumper crowd on like social media is, what about Bill Clinton paying $800,000 to Paula Jones? And what about Nixon? And you know what I say to that? They should have fucking brought him to court.
Yeah.
They should have put him in court. Nixon should have been arrested. I totally fucking agree. I do. I really do.
We can't do anything about that now, and it's not really affecting anything right now. So
Yeah.
let's talk about
They also didn't
what's happening now.
lead a seditious fucking attempt on their own democracy at the time when it happened. And if you remember, Nixon just said bye and got on a helicopter and flew away.
Yeah,
he just flew away. You know what I mean? Like, if Trump just got on a helicopter and flew away, we never saw him again. You know what? I don't even care if he shows up. That's fine by me.
You know what? That might be better at this point. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, our resident Beaver, who's having some camera issues tonight, apparently,
But
has
looking
joined
good.
us really good. But yeah, you know what? You still look sexy as hell, my man.
What's up?
Them handlebars, you look great, my man.
Hello.
Thank
Douglas
you.
Connors from the True North Eager Beaver podcast joins us. How are you, pal?
I'm actually in the garage on my phone. I've tried 2 cameras. I am completely and totally red from the top to the bottom down and fuzzy. And I want to.
That sounds like you can get cream for that, just so you know. If you go to the doctor, he'll give you some cream.
I look like the physical manifestation of VD.
What's going on?
I do not know what. I haven't touched the camera at all. It's just a couple of days ago. I started turning red in the morning. I thought it was just the sunlight. But no, it's something with the camera.
Doug.
Yeah, and then I switched to another one, and the other one I'm all gray, and for some reason now no background will load up whatsoever on the green screen. It's just,
So are we going to have a True North Eager Beaver podcast at 7 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, or what's happening?
Are you just gonna be
I'm
red?
sad.
Yeah.
You might have to get this. You might have to get this guy to try
might have
and
to get Paul on there.
and carry the load, I guess.
Douglas, he's in a root cellar or something.
yeah, it's a brain camera I bought that last year. It shouldn't work anymore. It just stopped.
Oh no,
Your
that's not
audio's
good.
not very happy.
Yeah, your audio's not happy either, Douglas. Just so you're aware.
No,
It's doing a little bit of popping and locking.
clipping.
Doesn't
You
sound
better get
good.
that cream on that red thing real quick.
That red fuzzy thing.
Paul Atkinson from the True North Eager Beaver podcast, which is the right hand man of our man Douglas Connors, is here as well. Paul,
Okay.
you're the tech guy. Are you gonna fix this for that poor guy, or what's going on?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's exactly going on there. It's weird. He's like he said, he's rebooted 5 times, and it's still a little on the scronkly side. So we're gonna have to figure this out.
No,
Didn't
you're
hear
frozen,
you.
bud.
Yeah, we didn't hear you, man. Douglas, we can't hear you.
Yep.
You're if you got some headphones for that phone, maybe grab some headphones for your phone, and we'll try it that way. Like
How's your manifesto coming? Looks like you're in a bunker.
Said he's in the
Cabin in
garage.
the woods, man.
Leave him alone.
we're just poking fun. We love you, man. I know it's frustrating as hell. I hate this too. Believe me.
We've had lots of tech challenges on this, on all of our pods, respectively. I'm sure.
Well, you know what? The other night when James had the other
Starlink
half
down.
of the TBA
Yeah.
on when Marco was on, he dropped right out, and I was unfortunately sick on the bathroom floor that night with some sort of a food issue, and I said I can't go. Like I can't leave here. I can't go and be. And because I actually offered to produce that show, and I said I can't do it. I physically can't be there, and it ended up being just Marco and David Wallace, and David Wallace held it up very well. By the way, I got to give him some credit. He needs some flowers for that because he did very well. But
there you go.
Yeah, we're all plagued by this when we're having fun, good shows, and it just seems to be the timing is always like that. So maybe Douglas can grab a headset.
I don't think I'm a benefit to anybody.
Is this?
So that is not a representation of Alberta.
Why do we always have these Lachlan hot cues?
Is this?
Like there was two people on one.
Can anybody hear me?
My favorite one.
No, I don't know.
Barely,
Little
Douglas.
bit.
You just keep chunking in and out.
It's called clipping.
Yeah, you're clipping.
In and
It's
out.
like your audio's clipping. And it's you can only get like every other word in there.
It sounds like you're
so
gonna yell
sorry.
something like "Get in the chopper."
Yeah, it's like a call for help, man.
I'm actually just doing some editing of some video tonight, so
That's
thought
what I
I'd
was
pop in
doing,
for a
too.
little bit.
That's what I was
Petting a
doing.
puppy.
Yeah, I figured that's why I threw the invite out to you because I knew this is kind of your wheelhouse, you guys, what you guys do in the morning on Crier Media at 7 a.m. every day, Monday to Friday. It's the True North Eager Beaver podcast. If you guys want to hear a good take on politics from a couple of good dudes, that's the show to check out. This is not an actual show tonight. This is yes, it's on Blackballed. Yes, it's on Getting Sauce. It's on Fire for Effect. But we're just chatting because of the news that broke today of Donald Trump being found guilty on all 34 counts that he was facing in New York court. Paul, you got any insight? You got any opinion on what we saw today?
Well, to be honest with you, I was shocked that they found him guilty, and at the same time, not surprised because New York, they don't like him there. To begin
Not at all.
He's not a popular fellow, number one, and number two, New Yorkers know that he's been fleecing people for years. They know what a criminal he is for a long time. But of course, they're immediately, the second that came out, I started seeing all these tweets and feeds from other people going, kangaroo court, justice does not prevail. The system is, I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake, yeah. See, if he wins, justice was served. But if he loses, it's a kangaroo court. I'm like,
yeah. And that's what I was just saying before you popped on. I said it was funny. The first thing I started seeing was the Bill Clinton paid Paula Starr fucking $800,000 and Nixon was never charged and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, no, guess what? They should have been. They should have been. You guys didn't do it, you know? Yeah. But at the same time, I also kind of exonerated Nixon because he literally got in a fucking helicopter and just flew away. Like he's like, okay, I'm leaving, and he left America alone. He fucked them, got caught, and left them alone. And if Trump was to agree to get on a fucking helicopter tomorrow, wave goodbye with both hands, and leave them alone, sure, don't spend a day in jail. I don't care. I don't care. You know what? Withdraw the fucking charges, in my opinion. I don't even care. Just get away.
Just make them disappear forever.
Just leave them alone. You know what I mean? We're in a very precarious fucking time right now, financially. Post-pandemic bullshit, trying to rebuild economies, trying to like homelessness is at a fucking incredible fucking rate right now. Like we've never seen the levels of housing instability in North America in our entire life, including the fucking depression, for fuck's sakes.
Well, the comparison there is, though, that was almost 100 years ago, number one, and number two, there weren't as many people. So they're
understood,
right?
But that bolsters my point, is the fact that we are in a fucking crisis of a societal crisis here, in a first world crisis. This is the first time we've actually seen this sort of a hardship, and a lot of people don't call it that because they don't see it because they are comfortable.
And there's a lot of comfortable people who are not affected by it in the least bit, who just refuse to even acknowledge it for the most part.
Yeah,
they just don't even acknowledge it. What are you talking about? My fridge is full.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly. It's not affecting me right now, so everything's going to be fine. So, Douglas, do we have you back? Not yet.
Sure. No.
Shit. Okay. But yeah. So thoughts on my big question is, what's the Republican Party? At what point? What's the tipping point finally for somebody to grow up? When's the grown up in the room going to come and say, enough is enough? Let's find a new horse and back that guy or lady.
I don't think there's anybody in the Republican Party that has a spine, B, the ability to actually call out the bullshit that Trump has been spewing. I mean, Lindsey Graham says if we elect Trump, we're gonna get
we're
roasted
gonna
over
fuck
the
ourselves.
Yeah, and we'll deserve it. And now he's supporting him. So it's like, does Trump have compromise on all of these, the entire Republican Party? It really makes me. There's got to be something.
It has to be.
Did they all go to Epstein Island or something? Because, man, it makes you wonder, because there doesn't seem to be a single person in that party, not a one, that has the cojones to stand up, show their backbone, and say, listen, this is unacceptable. This is not how democracy is supposed to work. This is not correct. This is not proper. This man is a criminal. He's been charged. Well, this was 34 counts on this one. Was it there 89 more to go or something? Like,
something like that.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's
show the
it's
Count
nuts.
Dracula thing again.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hang on. So this is
count?
yeah. Let's
The count.
Yeah, because Paul wasn't here for this, so we'll do this all over again. We'll do. There was 34 counts.
Good. That's good.
Okay. But you also missed the opener of the show, I think. We'll play that one more time.
She just nails this.
Just for fun. All right. Let's
love it.
Let's bring her in. Hang on.
Is this
You ready?
the Hillary Clinton thing I've heard about?
Even better.
Is guilty, that motherfucker's 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 guilty, that motherfucker's
Here, you can actually see her here.
guilty, that motherfucker's 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 guilty.
Isn't that fantastic?
Really good.
That shit
That's
bumps.
good.
Right.
Here's the problem.
So,
No
Yeah.
one cares because news and facts have turned into reality TV. They don't respect the reality that impacts on their lives.
You're
true.
absolutely right.
That you're literally going to vote in a guy, and they will vote him in.
Yeah.
That's a fucking criminal. And what you're saying, I made a joke about it earlier. I said the hundreds of thousands of fucking guys that are in prison in the United States, some wrongfully, some rightfully, now can go, wow, I too can be the president of the United
I
States.
can be the president. I have something to dream about now.
Like they have I have a
Do
dream.
Whatever I wanted to be.
It's a real
I
thing,
have a
man.
dream.
It's unbelievable.
You know what's interesting though, because he's been convicted, he hasn't been sentenced. He probably won't do a moment's time in
No.
the
It'd be a big
clinic.
fine.
no.
That's, yeah, it's a shame.
But you know what?
Appeal
You know what was
for
nice
years.
and performative, though. You know what was really cool this week. So this week, Secret Service actually visited Rikers Island to do an assessment on it, just in case he was remanded to prison.
That checks out 100%.
They went and checked it out, but now the Senate is actually looking at revoking his Secret Service privileges.
Do you know what I want? Do you guys know what I really, 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 really want? It's
You
this
know what I
weird
want?
fetish thing. What I really, really want. Yep, Spice Girls.
What I really, really want.
Remember all the mob guys?
Tell me what you
I was
want.
thinking about Greece, but
All
you
these
can
guys that
go.
ran their mafia families from prison.
Yeah.
I want Trump to get elected and win.
And
And
run
run
office.
the country from jail.
You imagine a
want that to
podium,
happen, man. You have no
and
idea.
he's wearing an Oilers orange fucking jumpsuit.
He's got his jumpsuit on, like fucking
Yeah.
the
And
new
he's-
black
and-
is the new orange or whatever that show
But
was.
it's got the seal on the podium that he's standing at, but the podium's just like some like cardboard box they found.
Like, I want a guy at the White House that answers the phone and says, "You have a collect call from fucking Rikers Island prison. Will you accept the charges?" So he can give direction to
My
the
pre-
country.
my-
like, someone
press
please
secret-
record this.
my
You know
press
what's interesting,
secretary. Yeah,
Because he's been convicted.
Yeah.
So now he's a felon.
he's technically
He
a
can't
felon. yeah.
vote. He can't vote ever again.
I know, I love
Apparently from what I was reading, because I was going back about the scholars saying you can run for president, but you can't vote. But at the same time, there is something in there that says he can vote for himself.
It doesn't. Okay, he doesn't understand how voting works anyway.
It's true.
So I just. And he's only one person, so I was just kind of like,
rigged.
I was a little disappointed with that. I was like, oh no, like you're one shitty vote. You know what I mean?
True.
I want a U.S. president who's the president from prison, so I can tell all my American friends, I love your country, but this is how fucked you are.
Yeah.
Your president's literally in prison. But he'll just pardon himself.
Like, how is this not reality TV?
I have pardoned
right
me,
now?
and out he goes. Like that's.
I would like to introduce you to my Secretary of Yard Time, Razor. Razor's here to tell us about what's going to happen in the yard today. You know, like instead of the Rose Garden, he's doing like he has to pardon turkey, or maybe he's pardoning people.
There's a lot of things going on in prison today.
Oh
we got. I'm going to woodworking. I'm going to make some huge things happen. It's going to be huge.
Huge.
I hate to say it, but like,
I'm going to call Putin. I'm going to collect call from Rikers.
It'd be fun to watch, wouldn't it?
No, it's not
going to be huge. Oh, wait, we're in lockdown. Got to go. Bye. Click.
Going to prison, somebody would probably just
speaking of
away with them.
Hang on. Speaking of interrogation room cameras, Douglas Connors joins us again.
Where are you, man?
Doug,
hey there.
It looks like you're in an interrogation room.
100% it does.
You sound better. We can hear you now.
Yes, finally.
Hey, went down to the cop shop. They got better Wi-Fi. So
I swear.
It's an
interview room.
Computer. I try.
So are you going to tell us where you were on the night of February 18th, 2024? Remember where you were?
Sorry, I'm eating chips right now. I smoked a bunch of weed earlier.
No, you know what? Watching you come back into the frame today, Chris, was the most Canadian fucking thing I've ever seen. A guy in an oil jersey with a salt and vinegar chip bag from Lay's. That's the most Canadian thing that could be on this podcast.
I also ate half a package of sandwich meat when I was down there too,
and smoked 4 darts.
That was a hell of a game.
Go Oilers!
That was a
now
hell
that
of a
we
game.
can hear Douglas, I'd like to hear him.
It's currently 1-1 New York and Florida right now.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you, Ashley. I want to hear Douglas's take on what happened today in New York Circuit Court with Donald Trump being found guilty on 34 counts of felony counts. What's the verdict from the Beaver?
I'm going to jump because I got to go. I got to finish my editing. Thanks for having me, guys.
Well, thanks for having. Thanks for coming by. It was good to see you,
buddy.
We'll see you. Take care.
Don't be a stranger.
Night.
Was it something I wore?
Yeah.
Sexy
you know what?
venue.
I think. Are you guys fighting? Is there a domestic we don't know about? Is that why?
I
Don't go to bed angry.
What?
I don't know what happened. I thought we were all vibing.
So yeah, listen, if you're joining and listening in on the audio version of this podcast, normally Douglas's audio is absolutely pristine. It sounds better than mine. And Douglas is having some technical issues tonight. So he's joining us from Rikers Island itself. He went to go and check out Trump's new digs, I guess. He's in interrogation room C. And he's going to give us his rundown on what he thought about the verdict today.
What's
Douglas,
the mood in the yard, Doug?
The floor is yours.
The mood in the yard.
Oh my God, the floor's fine. Gee. Well, about the only thing that was a surprise for me on this is that the jury didn't wait until tomorrow to come out Friday with the verdict.
Yeah.
Other than that, as far as I'm concerned, everything has been called it, and I told you so. This was pretty much an open and shut case. The only real danger was that there would have been maybe a hung jury, somebody on there that decided that they didn't want to convict for some reason. But it was pretty much open and shut. I mean, the deed was done. You had somebody that was there that was, that had already gone to jail for part of it, that was saying that it was done. You had all the documents to corroborate it. I mean, the dude put his own signature on the damn checks.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's kind of nice when a plan comes together.
I know, yes. And I mean, and you have all these like funny little moments, like all those times he said no collusion about Russia. Okay, well, who knows? Maybe there was some, but there was definitely some collusion here. So
yeah.
And you did that to cheat and to win that election. So it was like, all the time that you're saying no collusion with your accordion hands, technically, well, yes,
collusion, actually.
See why nobody believes you now?
Yeah. I don't know what you guys had all discussed, but yeah, it was a super fast deliberation, because it could have been one or two ways. They could have taken a lot of time because, again, everybody seemed to be treating this as with kid gloves, right? It's the former president. So it's like, yes, we'll find him in contempt 10 times rather than throwing his ass in jail. We'll bend over. Anybody else would have had their cheek pressed up against the wall and wearing silver bracelets by now.
Here's the thing, Doug, and I want you to weigh in this. Getting back to we didn't get into the details, and you provide a lot of details, and I appreciate that. Do you think that this is just fuel for the fire, and how divisive and polarized U.S. politics is? Because I do. I personally think you're just adding fire to you're throwing gas on a fire with the whole verdict.
Yeah.
Either way.
Maybe so, but the law is without fear or favor.
Well, you'd like to think
right?
so. Yeah.
So I mean, well, that's the whole thing. It seemed that there was a lot of fear because this guy should have been thrown in jail for contempt many times already before this thing, but they didn't. But I mean, the whole point is, it's like people are going to freak out. Do we convict?
But they won't put him in jail. If they put him in jail, I'll send a case of beer to every one of you guys. I'm not going to do a day in jail. He won't do a day in jail.
No, he probably won't, but he deserves to, and he should.
I agree with you on that.
I agree with both of you.
Not on a moral basis.
It's
Michael Cohen went to jail.
Yep.
He went to jail. Same crimes. He went to jail.
Yeah.
The crimes were at the direction of and for the benefit of Donald J. Trump. So the guy for whom the crimes are for the benefit of and at the direction of should go to jail.
I would have to agree.
You would think.
Logically. And then when you show all the contempt he's had for the court and whatnot, now maybe Michael Cohen had some other convictions prior, and this is Donald Trump's, believe it or not, first federal criminal conviction. So he's going to be treated as a first-time criminal, even though he's a freaking one-man crime spree.
Sure he is, but I'm not talking about jail time. What I'm talking about is how it impacts your press.
Oh,
this will bolster him in on the right wing Republican side. I'll give you a good example. Kid Rock. So Kid Rock just did an interview with Rolling Stone 2 weeks ago at his house in Nashville. Just shit faced. He ended up pulling a gun and waving it around.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right, and the Rolling Stone guy, the interviewer, was very nervous and was trying to leave, and eventually did leave. Kid Rock, drunk as fuck, said to the guy, he goes, "I hope you write a really bad story about me because it's good for me. It helps me." And he's not wrong, because that's how they are down there.
Well, yeah,
that's true.
Because politics, all that shit has become not there you go. Not news anymore. It is sensationalized media, which we talked about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so people don't respect or understand the ramifications of you're going to vote in a guy who's a fucking convicted felon who theoretically could be in prison, and that would be a first in U.S. history. At some point, you need to shake your head and go, "What are we doing?"
Convicted felon and has met the civil of a threshold.
Yes,
under its evidence for being a rapist as well.
Let's don't forget that, and also somebody that and convicted of 2 or 3 counts of defamation now as well, because against the person that he was guilty of committing that
crime
against.
Named again. So, a couple of days ago yet again. So yes. In the whole, press button, spark outrage, open your wallet industry. Yes, he's going to get a lot of play. He's going to raise a lot of money on this. There's huge industry on this. He's going to do very well. His problem is the independents. His problem are the independents. The people that are on Team Trump, the people that are full-blown Republican, the people like Nikki Haley who spend like 7 months saying you can't vote for Trump, he's a this and a that, and like this and all that.
Marjorie Taylor Greens.
Now I'm going to vote for Trump because Joe Biden would be a catastrophe. The guy's a rapist and a felon and probably sold, military secrets to another country or gave them away. It's like this. There's no way
an adversary, too.
Yeah, so there's no way that Biden's going to be more catastrophe. So you get the Nikki Haley's like this, and further right down to that, people turn around and says, not the people that say, I normally vote Republican, but I won't vote at all. I can't vote Democrat, but I just won't vote at all.
Mhm.
Because the people that turn around like, no, Trump is terrible, 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 terrible. But for some reason in my mind, I've imagined some fantasy scenario where Biden is worse. So I guess I will still vote for Trump. Even that crowd, yeah, like more books, more donations, more pity parties, more rallies, more that. But the independents, he can't afford to lose a lot of them, and there is a certain chunk of the American public in a race this close. Maybe it's only 3%, maybe it's only 5%, but a conviction from a jury of your peers, people that would have seen the evidence, that are not team
a quick one too,
would be enough.
Yeah.
To seal the deal.
What's your thoughts on and timing aside? I asked this earlier when you weren't on the panel, but timing aside, what's your thoughts on the guy, that showrunner from The Apprentice, his NDA kind of expiring this week, and him coming out and saying, well, guys, I got some juice, and let me tell you something. Yeah. And him with his comments about Omarosa winning The Apprentice, asking if America really wanted to see an N-word become a winner.
There's a reason Kwame didn't win in season 1.
You're right. You're absolutely correct. Behavior. You're absolutely correct. It's funny because let me tell you something, and I didn't give a shit about Trump obviously before politics, and I had no, like, I knew who he was. Obviously, you know who Donald Trump is. You know, I knew what The Apprentice was on NBC.
Yeah, a fairly entertaining show.
And the reason why I knew what it was because my mom loved that show. My mom used to watch it religiously. She thought it was just so fun. She thought it was, and she said, he's a smarmy asshole, but he makes it fun. Which is exactly what he is. He would have been if he would have just stayed on TV as a TV person, he would have been so successful. He would have been the success he thinks he is now. Yeah. And that's kind of like, you should have just stopped there. And the problem is he opened his mouth, and he's one of those guys, he can't lose face. So he just went through with it, and by accident won the presidency of the United States of fucking America. As you could always see, like, I always love watching the video of them coming out when he was announced the winner, and watching him and his entire family just stunned. They're like, "Oh fuck, what do we do now?" And then he hits the gas pedal, right? But I still remember because I never watched the show, but my mom would talk to me about it all the time. She'd be like, because I always make fun of her for watching reality TV. It was always just a funny thing of like, oh, mom's watching her fucking stories. This is the stories now of the fucking 2000s. Good for you, mom, you know? And she's like, I don't understand. That lady was so good. Why wouldn't she win? Why didn't she win? That doesn't make any sense. And it was always just a big joke. It's like, because he's a racist piece of shit. Like, you can tell he's a racist piece of shit, you know, like, and you could tell it. Like, if you watch those old episodes of The Apprentice,
Trump's racist pieces.
Yeah, he was just a fucking asshole. Like,
yeah.
Especially to anybody of color or women, especially. He did not give the same flowers to the women that he did to the men when they did well on the show. Which one?
Except LaToya Jackson.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He kind of fired her and then brought her back because she actually made a case.
yeah, because he was, and the fact he's a star fucker. He really is. Yeah. He's a star fucker, and he'll, and no matter, he is the most. He is. And I don't mean this in any way other than the actual term, but he is and was a very popular person. Today, he is literally the most popular person in the world because of what's going on.
I always say that Donald Trump is sort of like the New York Evita. Evita was lower class, and all she wanted to be was middle class and accepted by the middle classes.
Right.
Donald Trump is new money. All he wants to be is accepted by old money.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's actually really true.
They never let him into their club. They never let him into it.
You know what I am? I'm no money. What the fuck, Kris? You made me make this podcast. Now you're fucking bailing on us?
Yeah, man, I'm late. If I would have been drinking when I fucking made this. You guys are doing great.
You're late.
What are you late for? Oh, he can't talk about it a bit. Well,
you know what I'm late for.
Do you have 5 minutes?
I have 5 minutes. I'm
Okay,
this late. Trust me.
Okay.
I just made a bunch
Can
of
we-
excuses to these fucking guys.
I yield my time.
I got 5
Can
minutes.
can we put a pin in this just for a second, Douglas? And I just want to get to something really quick for Kris. Kris, what are you up to right now? I have something I want to play for the audience.
Yeah,
are
I'm
you doing
currently,
something fun?
I'm doing a thing. I'm doing a thing with This is my plug moment here.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a different style of cooking show, and it features Mr. Lachlan
cheating on
Cross
me. He's
from
cheating
Crier
on me.
Media, and because this guy could not make toast without fucking it up. The show.
Whatever happened to streaking?
I assumed that.
Hang on, I
So
gotta
you-
play
so you-
mine again.
I don't think I'm a benefit to anybody.
So that is not a representation of Alberta. Like there was 2 people on one dildo.
All right,
So
I'm gonna play. Go ahead. Go no.
Play
talk
the
about-
thing, and I'll
Play
explain
and
it.
then talk about. Okay, so this is what Kris has been up to. Kris is a master when it comes to video editing,
I
video
wouldn't say
shooting,
that.
cinematography. No, fuck off. You're gonna shut the fuck up. I'm gonna give you your flowers.
Okay, appreciate you.
When it comes to production, when it comes to direction, my food truck thing would have never ever been a thing without Kris, and this is why. It's because of the things that he does, and this is one of them. I love
Not-
the not your stepmom's
Not
cooking
sure. It's
show.
that's gonna change every episode. So we
That-
recorded 4 episodes.
That's like
So
it's like a Pornhub reference. Good for you.
Right? Exactly. So Grease Fire drops 6 June. The first episode will be one a month.
Nice.
It features Jess and Big Joe from Motley Q, or competitor competition barbecue people in Edmonton. Big shout out motleyq.ca. Check it out if you want to order rubs and spices and all that stuff. Aaron Packin from Meat, which is a restaurant that survived the pandemic and just had their first 10th year anniversary tonight, which I just came from before this.
And they are on fire. That place is fucking
Meat is. You've been
fuego.
down there, right? It's fucking
Yeah.
wicked, man.
Amazing.
So Aaron, who's the head pit master there, he's part of the show, and I'm just running the back end shit, and I'm just finishing the final touches on episode 1, which will drop on June 6th. There'll be the channel and stuff, and the links, and then all that good shit will come on social media. So that's what I'm doing right now.
That's amazing.
That's me, buddy.
I'm
That's
really
great.
I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of you, but I'm proud of Lachlan. You know why? Lachlan, who is my dear friend, and I love that man, can't cook
As
worth
crazy
a
as he
shit.
is, yeah,
and he
Can't-
can't
no,
cook worth
fuck,
a
he
shit.
can't cook.
So
he's
if
this guy
you're-
stirs his bacon. He stirs his bacon. When he cooks
Yeah.
it. We're like,
Okay.
what?
Okay, so now you understand the charm of the show. I was the cooking guy at Crier for the entire time I was there. It's me. We're
let's
doing
talk
food.
about
It's
the
got to
beer
go
can
through me.
chicken thing was the best,
Oh,
man.
I've got, you know what? We're still due to do a podcast that's 2 years late with all those
Yeah.
videos, and we need to talk about the Eddie trip, because there's so many people that still ask me, I thought you guys were doing a show to explain exactly what happened when you were in Edmonton. I'm like, it's coming. I promise it's coming. I still have all that stuff.
We need
I
to
was
do
showing people at my real job, my grown-up job today, that like pictures of things and introducing them to the characters. But anyway, sorry, I know you got to go. It's Lachlan doing this because when we started talking about cooking, so I used to do spots randomly on Cruise FM when he was the morning guy there.
Yep.
And we would talk about food. And he also had other barbecue guys on there as well. But we would talk about the fact that Locke can't cook, and
That's
Lachlan
the premise of the show. 100%.
Lachlan doing a show where he's learning. It's like breaking Lachlan. He's learning how to
Really
do this
is.
stuff. I am so fucking excited to watch this. And yes, guys, I get it. I would, if I wanted to, if I asked Kris, he would totally give me early access so I can see the show already. I'm not doing it because I want to be as surprised as you guys when we see it. I want to watch it like a viewer, not like a friend, not like an insider. I want to watch this like we're all going to watch it together. and I'm going to be in the comments. It's going to be so much fucking fun. So when's the drop date again? I'm sorry.
Next Thursday, like 1 week from today, 6 June.
Oh, I can't
6
wait.
June, which is also pretty sure that's VE Day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said VD, venereal disease.
No, not VD Day. VE Day. Isn't VE Day? Victory in Europe, 6 June. Normandy.
Yeah, 6th June. Yeah.
I'll fact check myself. I should know shit like that. But anyway, it drops 6 June next week. I don't know what time. We're just doing the final. The rough cut's done. I'm getting everybody's input on how to chop it up. They're short. They're like 12 to 15 minutes long, so they won't occupy your time. And there's a lot of comedy behind it. It's like I said,
of course there is.
It's not your stepmom's cooking show. So
it's going to be so.
It's
so
basically professional barbecue cooks teaching Lachlan Cross, who's completely fucking inept. There you go. Wade knows better. He can't boil water. Teach Lachlan how to cook stuff. So we've got 4 in the can. I'm going to edit them, and it'll be released basically once a month for however long people are interested, with some special content coming out as we progress. So
is there anything about Beer Can Chicken in the show? Please tell me there is.
I want to do. So here's the thing, because we didn't do the thing. I want you to come out. That's why I said, when you coming out, and
let's do it.
We'll redo a Grease Fire Beer Can. Basically, we'll podcast the entire thing we did. We're not going to let the cat out of the bag, as the results were.
Yeah.
I brought it up, and they're like, yeah. But
you know what?
Ryan has got to be part of that. He's got to come out for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you all of the assets I have for that, because I have video. I have like Wade and I in the kitchen at one point, in your kitchen in Edmonton, talking about it.
So it feels like we should talk about this off fucking line.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is production shit. So we'll do
anyways,
it.
There might be a debunked Beer Can Chicken episode of Grease Fire coming up, if we can fucking work.
I can't wait.
I
can't wait. All right, good to see you, my man. Thanks for spearheading this and giving the idea for this tonight, because it's been an absolute joy.
Impromptu as fuck.
And actually, the timing is pretty good for you to step out, because the patriarch of Blackballed is here.
Oh, there's a man,
Mr.
James. James, you are stepping in as I step out, my man.
Oh, that sucks.
No,
you're wrong microphone, James.
Okay. Well, hold on a second. Let me say proper goodbye with my real voice, which will be this.
But it's so next Thursday is it. There you are. Next Thursday is Grease Fire.
Episode 1 will drop. Timing, I don't know.
You'll
find it on YouTube, Twitch, wherever you find your podcasts. So
good to see you, my man.
It's very much a video-driven pod.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
All right. Love you guys.
We'll see you soon. Love you too, pal.
Night.
Take care.
See you later, buddy. How you doing, guys?
James DiFiore, the host and proprietor of Blackballed Media and Blackballed the Podcast, joins us on the panel to this is literally a throw together impromptu show. Douglas is in Rikers Island interrogation room C as we speak, as you can see. He's confessing to something on the show. It's been a hell of a ride, James, that you've joined into. I'm glad you're here. I know we're kind of usurping the assets, because you had a plan to have a chat with David Wallace tonight.
But my kids got back from the Killaloe Fair pretty late, so I literally just finished putting my son down, and now I just don't want to force it. I might do it tomorrow and then do a double header.
Okay. All right. I just don't want to. I don't want to usurp anything. I don't want to step on your toes here. If you know the channel, you can have it back. But we've been having a great time. We've been talking about cooking and felony presidents. So it's been a good. It's been a really good show. As you can see, the beaver is flapping his tail. It's been really good. Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh my gosh. Settle down, Douglas.
Hey, your butt looks great in those pants, by the way.
That's $20 anywhere else.
Thank you so much.
If there was some Def Leppard playing, it would be perfect. Welcome to the stage.
Somebody's daughter.
Someone else's daughter.
It's funny because I had Alka Pradan on earlier today, and and she represents detainees at Gitmo. And I can't think of something more fitting. I know, obviously, this is never going to happen. He won't see the inside of a jail cell, I don't think. But like, but his orange hair would match the uniforms at Gitmo pretty nicely. Like he'd be the most stylish inmate there.
It'd be really creepy.
I was trying to craft a tweet before we came on the show where it was going to be orange is the new black, but we know that he doesn't like blacks, so I don't know what we can.
I love the blacks.
I don't know.
Look at my blacks over there. Look at my blacks over there. Like this.
Did you see that? Did you
my bronzer?
Did you see the timing was absolutely impeccable, by the way, of the showrunner of The Apprentice. His NDA expired this week, and he started talking, and he was talking about how and it was the controversy of what was the name that you came up with there, Douglas, the African American lady,
Omarosa.
Well, Omarosa, and who was the other one?
LaToya Jackson.
Oh yeah, that's right. And the controversy that was said that Donald Trump actually said, she should probably win, but does America really want to see an N-word win this show? And then right after that, you just see tons of propaganda of blacks for Trump, and it's like, what are we doing, guys? Like, what's happening here? Like, what is going on? Like.
What's really interesting is that it galvanized his base as anything that he does that shitty usually does.
100%. 100%.
In 2016, I predicted Hillary Clinton would win. I thought it would be close, and everyone else thought it would be a landslide. I was wrong. So was everybody else. He won. Listen, no one, like, we can do our happy dance that he got convicted. Let's not count our chickens, because this could galvanize all the wrong people at all the wrong time. Democratic candidate and Donald Trump's base being galvanized could result in him being in the White House. It really could. So I think we need to really temper our excitement.
And not even that. I think it's more along the lines of, if you think January 6th was bad, just stand by. Stand back and stand by. You know what I mean?
What do you guys think? Maybe you've already discussed it. If you have, I apologize. But what do you think?
No, it's fine.
If you're the judge, I don't think it's a good idea to put him in prison, because I think that all the armed people that are part of his base will I think people will die if he goes to prison.
You do it anyway. You send him in jail.
You think that we need a cleanse?
They screwed up with Nixon.
Yeah.
They screwed up with Nixon.
They screwed up with Nixon, 100%.
Don't screw up again. They are going to get mad no matter what you do. Lock them up.
The difference, and I said the only difference is Nixon literally just got on a helicopter and flew away and never came back. And Donald Trump won't do that. So, and which was a mistake as well, right? Like, and it was because why he was pardoned though was because he did that, because he just fucked off and he went into oblivion. If Donald Trump agreed to do that, somehow even if he agreed to it, he's not going to fucking do it, because he doesn't do anything he says he's going to do. But even if he agreed, like, let's say we were going to trust him to do it, I would say, yeah, you know what? Drop the charges. Don't put him in prison. Just go the fuck away and never show your face on TV. Never talk to another fucking soul in a public like anything. If you agree to that, we'll wash it. We'll wash it. We'll clean the slate. Fuck off. Fine with me.
But then you got to trust him.
That'll never happen. Exactly. Yeah. You know, that'll never happen. So I agree with Douglas. You know what? Fuck it. It's time. You know what? It's time. And I'm sorry if America can't fucking handle it, but it's time to hold people to account when they're found guilty in a fucking court.
Especially that many goddamn times.
I know you do. I know you do, but I get where you're coming from too.
I'm concerned too. A whole bunch of really good people are not, because
might die.
People that are going to die won't be mega people.
No,
it will be people who are sensible, or people progressives or moderates, or just
police officers, jail guards, fucking
journalists,
lawyers, journalists.
We do have the advantage, though, of post January 6th, of almost all the minions, not the middle tier, because they still need to be charged, but all the minions have been sentenced to go to jail. So all these people that thought it would never happen to me, they are going to. So, you know, that there's a reason why there wasn't that many people at the protests in front of the courthouse or whatnot
and you-
for him, because they got burnt once and
Throw
they
the
knew
flash
they
for
didn't,
boobs.
and he didn't pardon anybody.
You know what else it is too.
Just saying.
You know what else this is going to do? You know how every day there's an account I follow on Twitter that every
Speaking of
day
pretty
puts
nice
out.
dress- Sorry, just kidding, Ashley. I'm just
okay.
kidding.
Puts out the tweets of
Totally
the
ignored.
people that are still not identified from the FBI for January 6th. All this is going to do, this is going to shake the woodwork and get them back out on the street, and we'll find them. It'll be fine, right? Like the FBI, this will just give them an easy way to fucking find those people. But I agree with you, James. But sometimes, and I'm sorry, this is the bed that you've made. Now you're going to lie in it. And I'm sorry, that's your country. Deal with your shit. Take out your fucking laundry. Wash your fucking dishes. Clean your fucking room, as Jordan Peterson says.
Change your
And get it
diaper.
fucking done.
I still
it
don't
done.
think Biden should run, though. I really
I don't think he will now either. Just because of the fact that I don't think he has to now. I don't think they need a second term guy. And if the Democratic Party's smart, they're not and I hate to say this. They're not going to put in a black. They're not going to put in a woman, and they're not going to put in anybody of minority.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to take a good old white boy from somewhere with a little bit of a southern twang in his voice, and they're going to make him the fucking nominee. Because you know what? I think the Democratic Party might have finally fucking learned their lesson too.
Well,
To put somebody
listen,
in.
I will be at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, and I will be at the Republican National Convention as well. I have passes for both, so it'll be really fun.
Trump's sentencing is 4 days before that, so
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
4 days before the Republican National Convention, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, it's in Milwaukee, and I got to tell you, and I've said this before, I think on a couple of shows, but
Milwaukee's Schlemazel.
Sorry, the dog's in full terror mode.
Milwaukee's a dope city.
Yes,
Milwaukee, it is. Have you been there, Douglas?
I haven't, but I have friends there, and they swear by it.
It is
It's
so
not
weird.
anywhere else.
It is a
People
very
love it.
strange idea, but if you go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and you walk around downtown, you're just going to be like, "This is fucking awesome!" Like it is a mix. It is a mix between Richmond and Queen, and what's that part of Toronto that's near the industrial part that's right near like Dufferin and King. Anyways, I can't remember. Toronto Dan, if you're here, please remind me of what that place is called. But like warehouses, what's that?
The Distillery District?
No, but it is sort of like that as well. It's like rustic, old buildings, refurbished. The restaurants there are outstanding.
Not like Kensington.
No, it's called. I can't remember what it's called. It's something village. It's at Dufferin, and it's where all
Like
the warehouses
Roncesvalles.
are.
I'm thinking Roncesvalles, but no, it's the
Yeah,
other
it's south
side.
there,
Yeah.
where all the-
Junction? Somebody suggested the Junction from the...
No, but
Junction?
that's similar as well. That rustic kind of thing, but it's like south of King. No, not the Junction. That's like north of that's like St. Clair and Dufferin or something. But this is south. I can't remember what it's called. I'm really sorry. But
Okay,
anyways,
no, it's fine.
Point
Keep
is
talking, it'll
Milwaukee-
come to you.
Milwaukee's rustic. Milwaukee has great restaurants. The proportion of women who have tattoos there is off the charts. Like grandmas that pick up babies have sleeve tattoos. You're like, what the
Hell
fuck?
yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's dope. Liberty Village.
Grandma has a sleeve tattoo.
Get it, girl.
Liberty Village is what I was trying to think of.
Liberty Village. Okay. Yeah, okay, you're right.
You're right,
You weren't you're a music guy. You weren't here for the opening of the show.
Are you going to get dinged again? Because we got dinged the last
No,
time
this is
too.
there's no music. This isn't copywritten. This was made by somebody today on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's guilty. 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 That motherfucker's guilty.
It's catchy, isn't it?
That motherfucker's guilty. That motherfucker's
I thought it was catchy.
Such a vibe.
It is catchy. It's funny.
Albanian
because
Albanian pirate call it the Stockyards as well? Could it be also Stockyards, Liberty Village? Or
I've never eaten Stockyards, but maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, anything that's industrial and rustic and old factories and old beer factories refurbished into like lofts and stuff, like that kind of shit,
Okay. Yeah. So like a gentrified area of like old.
Yes and no. Yes and no, because it's not really gentrified. It doesn't feel gentrified because
is there a coffee shop? Is there a douchey fucking barista in there somewhere? Because then if that means it's gentrified.
there's lots of coffee shops, but there's lots of Mexican restaurants too.
But is there brunch? Is there Sunday brunch? Because if there's brunches anywhere,
of course there is.
Tell me about the avocados.
This was the place. I don't know if I wrote about it. I think for Crier, but like last year. But this was the place where I got up really early because of the time difference.
Okay.
I said King of Difference, I believe.
Yeah.
Anyways,
he's giving us a good tour. Stockyards is Keele and St. Clair. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I went to Milwaukee and I got up too early because my clock was still on Eastern time instead of Central time. So I got up at like 5. And at 6 o'clock, I went downstairs and I'm like, is there any all day breakfast open right now? And they're like, yeah, one's, and we looked it up together and it said it was going to be open at 7. So I went upstairs, I showered, I came down to like 6:45 and I walked there. It was like a 20-minute walk, but it was closed. And for some reason it wasn't open. So I bit the bullet and I went to, I think it was like a Hilton brunch kind of thing, which is shitty, but like I did it.
You told me a story about this already. And
this was kind of like I get goosebumps thinking about this.
I remember this. Yeah.
I went in and I filled my plate with really shitty bacon and a couple links of really dry sausage, especially the tips. Some home fries which were edible and scrambled eggs, which I hate. I like runny. I like not runny, but yolk eggs.
Fried sausage, the title of James' new sex tape.
That's right.
Yes. Whizzly dry sausage.
And he's seen it.
Inappropriate
and
names.
he's seen it. So I'm just saying.
I don't want to go there anymore because I regret that. So anyways,
he did.
Can you tell?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, just so you know, and I'm going to keep reminding everybody every show, Douglas has seen James's penis,
and that was like 6 fetishes ago.
And when he looked at it on his phone, he had to scroll and scroll and scroll. Anyways,
it was one of those Instagram 6-picture combos.
It was like Jacob's ladder.
Prove you're not a robot. Place them together.
Right.
Anyways,
is this her? Madison McFerrin, who sang that song that we listened to. Her name is Madison McFerrin.
Nice.
Thank you, Douglas.
Is she related to Bobby? Is she like Bobby's like bastard or something?
Could be.
Don't worry. Be happy and tell your story.
Okay. So I sat down and just before I started to eat, I looked over to my right and there was a woman at a table and she had a phone near her ear and she dropped it onto the table and she was rocking back and forth and she just didn't know how to be and she was kind of shaking and stuff. So I just went over there and I thought she was having a stroke, to be perfectly honest. She was like, I don't know, fucking 70, something like that. And maybe a bit younger. And I put my hand on her, like in between her shoulder blades, and then I kind of was like gently rubbing her back. And I was like, "Listen, I don't know what's going on, but I think that you need to breathe and tell me if you need me to get a medic or an ambulance or something." And she's like, "Can you talk to the person on the phone?" And I was like, and I'm like, "Who am I talking to, ma'am?" She's like, "It's my husband." So she put her head on my shoulder, and I can feel my shoulder getting wet from her tears. And I was like, "Hello, sir. I'm with your wife at a restaurant. I'm at the Hilton. She's very, very upset and distraught. I'm not sure if you know what's going on." And she's like, her mother just died. And she just got the news like 10 seconds before I got to the table.
Visit Milwaukee.com. This is not the good.
Actually,
we were talking. You were extolling the virtues of Milwaukee, and then this story comes up. I don't think this is going to hit the TV.
No, but hold on. Let me tell you though, because I think in a weird way, it was you're right, and you're not quite right. She is the daughter of singer Bobby McFerrin. That's great.
Holy shit, Douglas!
what a disjointed.
Look at fact check Douglas over here, just throwing out truth bombs.
So I have ADHD, Douglas. I have to interrupt my story if I see something in the private chat, no matter what.
The motherfucker's guilty song is Bobby McFerrin's daughter. That's fucking wild.
Get it?
There you go. Nailed it.
Check her out, everybody.
Anyways, long story short.
Madison McFerrin, everybody.
Long story short, I advised the husband to come get her. He lived 2 hours away. I'm like, I don't think she's any. She was supposed to meet her mom at that restaurant. and she just didn't show, and then she got a call from the husband saying that she had died an hour earlier. And
holy shit.
yeah, so
I just said something very inappropriate off the air, but yeah, that's crazy.
So I took this woman, I held this woman in my arms for like 10 minutes. Some priest came up and was like, I'm a priest. Can I help?
No.
And she goes like this.
No.
I already have help. Right? So I took her up to her room. I stayed outside, and I'm just like, listen, I think you should call your husband as soon as this door closes. And I wish you all the best or whatever. And I went back downstairs, and I told him to give her a wellness check in like a half an hour. And they did. And we still keep in contact.
No way. Really?
Yeah. She doesn't know me. So she calls me her angel because she clearly doesn't know me.
She definitely doesn't know you. Holy fuck.
I'm sending her a link to the show.
Yeah, we're going to send her a link to some of these shows.
Can I ask you a question? What is it about the human psychology where it's like you almost feel guilty for taking pride in that you help somebody, even though you weren't doing it in that moment to feel good about yourself? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a weird switch in my brain where I'm like, am I being a dick? Like, am I being a dick?
No, it's the post situation. It's just like if you help somebody in an accident, right? I think people should feel. I have a friend here in town that I'm very close with. My friend Dale. Dale talked a jumper off the Skyway Bridge here once in Burlington. Like, he was on his way to work. He saw the guy on the side of the bridge, pulled over and just talked to him, and just talked to him because he knew that something was up, right? And he talked to him and kept him there on the right side of the bridge until the police showed up. The police continued to let Dale converse with him because they realized he'd already like developed a rapport with him, to the point where they were able to find their way to break into the conversation and take the guy off. And then Dale just went on with his day. He was a tow truck driver at the time. He was driving a flatbed tow truck. And he then all of a sudden was able to converse with the police. The police were able to take him into custody and get him some help. And the guy's fine. And he's still to this day alive. And it was later on, we didn't know about this. Dale's not the guy to go and like self-promote himself for shit like this. It was his wife. His wife came on social media and said, you guys need to hear what my husband fucking did here.
Yeah, he won't tell you, but I will.
And absolutely deserved. You know what I mean? And so every once in a while we'll bring that story up when we're like, we've got parties here at the house and stuff, and they're always invited, and they're always like the first folks that show up with a dish. You know what I mean? Like those are our kind of people. And I'm the one that usually brings it up, like, Dale, tell the story about the bridge guy. And he gets bashful. Hero. His wife starts the story, and then he fills in the gaps. But yeah, I don't think there should be any shame in feeling a bit of pride and a little bit of self-congratulatory sense to when it comes to something like that.
You can get a little puffy if
you deserve your flowers.
If you make somebody feel, a whole lot better than they did when you got there.
I think that's okay. You know what I mean? And he just did it again, by the way, that accident scene here in town.
Dale don't stop.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that just trouble. And it's one of those.
He's there, he's helping.
You wonder, okay, we know that fate is going to make this trouble happen, but we're also going to make sure fate puts Dale in the scene to try and like mitigate stuff, right? Like he's just that kind of a decent dude. Like he's just a decent human.
100%.
Yeah. I when I grow up, I want to be like Dale,
Aww.
One of those kind of things.
That's adorable.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have to sneak off to bed myself.
Oh yeah, it's getting late, eh? Yeah, it is a school night.
I've got to be up at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I got to be up early too. So this isn't going to go much longer than this.
So
James,
I'll sneak out, but I'll leave you boys to it for a few more minutes, I think.
Okay. It was nice. It was nice to see you, wife.
It's lovely. The dog's telling me that he's pissed off and ready for bed. He attacked my legs and tried to eat the blanket for like a solid 5 minutes there.
He also knows that this is not Friday, so this is not casual Friday, and he's not happy about it.
He's like, what do you mean I have to do this twice this week?
Yeah, we're doing this again tomorrow.
Yeah, this is not cool.
Exactly. So
well, it was lovely to see everybody. I hope you all have a dope rest of the show.
Yeah, no, it won't be much longer than this, I'm sure. We're gonna probably wrap soon because I know Douglas has an early morning because Well, hopefully, if you get your tech stuff figured out, Douglas? What's going to happen there?
Well,
What do you mean wrapping soon? I just got here. Fuck off.
I know, but we all have grown-up jobs. So grown-up jobs.
Jorbs.
Ashley's got a jet. She's the one that gets up earlier than me, so she's going to take off.
got me a date.
We all have bobs to go to. I mean, jobs.
Jorbs. Jorbs.
Good night, dear.
Keep your pants on.
Good night, Ashley.
Anyhow, yeah, where were? Oh, we were Milwaukee. So the lady. So anyway, you were in Milwaukee. We were talking about the DNC and the RNC. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to both conventions. I think the Republican National Convention is June 13th to 15th, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, and then the Republican is July 11th or July 15th
in Chicago.
Yeah.
So don't you think that we're like I'm not saying this is going to happen. Obviously, in 1968, there was a big protest, a famous protest. This is what the Chicago 18, I think, whatever that movie was called, was based upon. The protest that happened outside of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, where a bunch of people were hurt. I think a couple people might have been killed. I can't remember. A bunch of people arrested. Some violence that was perpetrated by the cops. You know, it might not be out of the question that MAGA stages their protest there this time, because they basically blame a Democratic president and an attorney general for the quote unquote witch hunt that put Trump into the category of convicted felon. So you might see something like that in Chicago, which, by the way, will be fantastic for me content wise, but horrible for the country. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
If anything, I'm glad we're spectators. Technically, you know, I said I used the analogy of the duplex where the meth lab is in the basement below us in North America, and sometimes the fumes waft up here, and that's what gives me a bit of anxiety, is the fact that our less than astute folk that follow American politics and think it really matters here are going to see what's going to happen here, and it's going to also drive our extreme right to different levels. I think because they're going to think that it's going to happen to their guy, you know, and it gives me a bit of pause, knowing that I enjoy the entertainment value of America's shit show, but at the same time, I know that it has implications here, and what happens down there happens up here, and it affects what happens up here, just because of the fact that Gladys doesn't know that Fox News is not talking about her backyard. It's talking about a neighbor, and it's entertainment. It's newsertainment, or whatever you want to call it. You know, it's not us. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what this Trump conviction, if any, has an effect on Poilievre's popularity.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to watch the polls now, especially starting next week. Like, I'm not going to look at anything tomorrow. Obviously, it's still very fresh. It's still very hot. But once the polling starts again next week, and you know that they're both parties are going to run polls to know how this affected, because they do it every time. Anytime there's something major in the U.S., we run polls up here just to see where we're at.
But there's going to be so many people willing to take whatever happens in the next 1 or 2 weeks and run with it. Oh, see, there's been nothing yet. Wait about a month to a month and a half.
Yeah.
Gives a little time to percolate.
The only thing I know for sure is that I think it would be a mistake for any leader of any party in this country to pontificate about this conviction.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just feel like if Justin Trudeau, Jagmeet Singh, or Poilievre even, Poilievre probably is the least likely to be harmed by it, but I don't think that it's going to serve any of them well to be gleeful or to, like, you know, wave pom-poms for this, or in Poilievre's case, come down and say that it was a witch hunt. I don't think it's going to serve anybody well. I think everyone just needs to leave this alone and let the Americans deal with it. You know, like, I
think most people in Canada, the top line politicians, will probably leave it alone. There's nothing for the Prime Minister to gain on it.
That never stops Trudeau, though.
Well, yeah, But there's no point in it because I mean he's still a candidate for president, and you might have to deal with them. And NAFTA 2 comes up for negotiation in 2026. So there's no point in going out there. And as the leader of a state like this, there's no reason he should be, gleefully celebrating the arrest or the conviction of someone. It's just completely bad form diplomatically.
No,
Jagmeet Singh could have a field day with it if he wanted to, and there'd be little consequence for him. Pierre Poilievre, if he wanted to do that, he would have to be careful because he would repel some people by doing that. And
absolutely.
There's like this, but him, if he says something, yes, exactly. If he says something, it's going to be
because the crime.
He is really right wing basis, demanding some red meat and some validation, and will probably try to do it in some discreet sort of way. But he has there's nothing in it for him to be the first to belly to a mic and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe this happened."
What I see him do.
Number one, also the main reason also for Pierre Poilievre is because lest we forget, he has a lifetime deferred prosecution agreement with Elections Canada because he too cheated in an election and got caught, and it was in camera, and he knew if he went to court, his ass would be going to jail because it was an open shut case. They had a picture of him doing the thing that he shouldn't have been doing. So
and it would just be like scratching a wound.
He signed that piece of paper saying he wouldn't screw up again.
But I don't put it past him though. I don't put it past him because I think he thinks he's invincible to things like this. It's like that David Parker martyr thing where he won't say it directly, but he's going to say something about they're going to try and stop me any way they can. They're going to use the courts to get me. And I guarantee you the word witch hunt comes in that guy's Twitter within the next 14 days. 100%.
You actually posted about the Trump thing being a witch hunt just today.
Oh, okay. Well, then,
really?
Sorry, I didn't.
It was either actually, you know what? It was either him or Marco. I don't remember who it was. It's one of them. And Marco honestly seems like a pretty reasonable dude. I didn't really dive deep into his beliefs, but just as a communicator, that guy seemed
100%.
Okay,
you and I had a conversation off the air about this yesterday, James, and I gave that guy kudos. While I don't agree with him and I don't align with him politically or ideology at all. At least you can have a conversation with him, a normal adult conversation. I don't mind disagreeing with somebody, and the way he was presenting himself. If he was in Parker's shoes right now, I think Alberta would be in for a rude awakening on what that party could have done, and what as you said in the show, because you're right, it's like a super PAC in Canada. What that PAC was doing. Yeah. If that guy was the guy that was actually the mouth and not Parker, they picked the wrong horse to lead that fucking race. My friends.
Agree. And David
100%.
Wallace, I guess, contacted Elections Alberta today, and then the next thing you know, someone's reporting. I don't know who it was. It might not even be true. That so after our podcast and after more shenanigans from David Wallace, apparently he left Alberta.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Did you know that we had 1,000? We had 1,000. First of all, the fact that we have 309 people watching live on an impromptu podcast, our numbers are doing crazy things right now. Our numbers, meaning whenever we all do a podcast together or whatever. I don't know what your numbers are looking like right now, Douglas, but I think they're pretty good. And we had, I've never seen this even on Blundell's show. On that Marco David Wallace podcast, we had 1,000 people watching live. I've never seen that. I know that seems small, especially if you're an American tuning in. You know what I mean? But to put it in perspective, proportionally, that's like having 10,000 people watching live, which is pretty fucking good if you're not a TikTok video. You know what I mean?
So, for what we do, and we never base our ratings on our podcasts on live views. We do these. We don't have to do these live, and we've always said that we don't need to do these live. If we were smart, we would record them and massage them and make them pretty. We do them live because I like having the audience. James is the same. So is Douglas. We like having that interaction with the people on the side where we can actually take live opinions and views on the shit that we're saying, because sometimes we're wrong on shit and people call us out and we gladly correct, right? We course correct.
Plus it helps content. Like there's 100%. Nothing that stalls content more than having to edit something.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And by the way,
the viewer knows. and the listener knows.
And I just want to put this up both because I kind of want to toot my own horn, and also because I'm really happy and I'm really like big shout out to the people that watch the podcast, because I found out that we are now.
Yes.
This is the news category in Canada. We're only 4 away from Meet the Press, which is pretty fucking good. I get pretty proud of that.
Good.
And we haven't really been, not saying that we haven't really been trying, but back in the day when I was with Cryer, I would spend like 20 hours a week show running.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I spend 5 right now.
Isn't it great?
You know what I mean?
Like today alone, the only reason why this happened is I was having a casual conversation with Army Kris on text. We were just talking about bullshit. And he's like, and I said something about Trump, and he goes, "Oh fuck." He says, "Yeah, the guy from Home Alone 2 got charged with a felony today." And I went, "Yeah, is that crazy?" He goes, "We should do a podcast." I'm like, "Okay." Yeah. Let's meet in 20 minutes. And we just went live.
From Home Alone 2. That's
that's what he called him.
You know what's really funny is I watched
the guy from Home Alone 2.
Inspired by you, Ryan, I have been completely like down in Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown rabbit hole lately. I have been, and I watched the New Jersey episode today, and it was just random. And Trump was in it.
Yep.
He was talking about how Atlantic City was supposed to be this promise of like a new day, a new dawn for New Jersey, and then it all went to shit, right?
Yeah.
And he used Trump as his example, but they came out, I don't know, like a decade ago or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
And actually he makes a few references in Parts Unknown, and I believe No Reservations about him. There's 2 things that you learn about Anthony Bourdain. There's 2 things that he doesn't like at all, and that is, one is the monarchy, and the other one is Donald Trump. That's amazing. Yeah, he was somewhere, and somebody raised a glass for the Queen. He goes, "Yeah, no thanks," and he didn't cheers on the thing.
That's why he loves Glasgow so much, because they hate
exactly. Yeah,
I actually owe you a debt of gratitude, because I kind of like watched him here and there, but hearing you speak about him was the driving force to make me go watch him more. I don't know what it is about that guy, but like posthumously watching his shows makes me feel very sad, and that we're missing out on a guy who really brought us such original and amazing content.
I feel that way every day when I talk anything. He was the inspiration for the way that I did the opening of the food truck special. It was his writing style that I used when I talk about food. My diner burger, if you go to my Substack, by the way, ryanlindley.substack.com. If you go there and you see if you go to the diner burger, it's all my recipes and stuff around there. It's all free. I don't charge. If you want, go subscribe. It's great. But my diner burger article that I wrote, because it wasn't even just a recipe. I wrote it as an article, and I wrote it in the style of Anthony Bourdain, where it starts off with me just saying it's 2 a.m. Your liver is pickled, and you just want something greasy and good to eat. And I go through the feelings that you would have sitting in a bar drunk and wanting something. You're craving something. You don't know what it is. Is it heat lamp, cardboard heated pizza from a fucking place, which sounds delicious at this point, but that's not what you want. You want that greasy American cheese that's gotten brown on the fucking griddle, and the tomato is a little too soft because it's been in the prep all day, and the onions soak in the mayo and the ketchup into the slurry, and so I wrote it in that style, and I realized as I was writing it, you're writing like Tony did, and it's what I love, and that's how I know how to write about food. That's how I know how to talk about food, and I learned everything about that from that man. My cooking inspiration does not come from Anthony Bourdain. I didn't enjoy his cooking at all.
Really?
It's more like a Marco Pierre White thing for me, or even what's his name, Jacques Pepin. Those are my guys for cooking. The French Laundry. Those are my cooks. But when it comes to talking about it, there was something so visceral, something so, I'll say it, is something so fucking raw sexual about the way he just spoke about people, about the experience of sitting down at a table and having a bowl of bun cha in fucking Vietnam. Just the smells. You could watch that show, and this is why I've always said that show was visually fucking stunning, right? You saw it. The CNN, they pulled no punches and spared no expense, but that's a visual show, you would think. But then CNN actually put it out. Every episode of Parts Unknown is available as an audio podcast. And you know why? Really? Because you can fucking smell it. You can hear it. You can see it. You can taste it when he's talking about it, because he was so good. He was such a fucking artist with words. He was a great chef, but he was a master when it came to fucking the orator. That's why anybody that gets
such a good point.
Anybody that gets his books. Sorry, just quickly. I'll finish this, and then you talk. Medium Raw and Kitchen Confidential. If you're going to buy those books, I implore you, go buy them and read them with your eyes, 100%. But at the same time, while you're reading it, put the audiobook on, because it's Tony talking. So the inflections are where they need to be. The emotion is where it needs to be. The fucking emphasis is where it is. And you can read along as you read word for word, because he just reads the book. And you get transformed. You can't deny it. You can't see in front of you. If you look up from the book, you don't know what's there. You're in Vietnam. You're in Seattle. You're in fucking Thailand. You're wherever the fuck he is when he's doing that. And that's why he's a hero to me when it comes to presentation of food content. So,
I think you just said it better. No, I think you just said it better than what I was going to say, because I was going to say something similar, but because I'm a newbie to Parts Unknown. Like, I've watched like 3 episodes of my life until this week, and now I've watched another 4 or 5, and I'm completely engrossed in it because of the way when he's talking about the location, not the food in that location, but the location. He talks about the smells of the New Jersey beach or something, or the Glasgow streets, or the Miami nights, or
the sounds.
Like he talks about the sounds. It's all sensorial, or whatever that word is, right? Like it's all about the senses. And I was like, oh my God, he's taking what we would normally associate with food, the presentation, the sound of the cooking, the smells, the sight, everything about the food, and he's like laying that palette over top of where he is and delivering it and waxing poetic about it. And you're just like, I could eat Jersey right now.
Yeah. And the food is always secondary. Even though the food is delicious and whatever he's doing is fucking magical, it's secondary to the story, because that's what he was about. He was about the story, right? He wanted to talk about the people. He wanted to talk about why he fell in love with going to Japan, why the best bowl of whatever the fuck he had, why he thinks that sauce or encased meat is his favorite thing. And he'll tell you why, because of a place that he went to. And then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, I'm craving a hot dog now. You know, it could be a dirty water New York hot dog. And you're like, I need one right now.
Let me ask you this, Ryan, because you know a lot more about him than I do. What his demons, like when he went and filmed Parts Unknown in different places around the world, is there's any information, and it's not because of tabloid shit. I'm just curious, because as a person who has struggled with drug abuse and drinking,
so did he
myself.
Yeah.
I'm curious, because I always thought that if my life, like if I had a show, like if Blackballed blew up or something and became like 3rd podcast in the world, better, just behind Joe Rogan and some other right winger or whatever the fuck it is, right? Like, and all of a sudden I was just like making money and people knew who I was. I guess it feels like for some people those demons don't disappear.
It had nothing to do with it.
I'm just curious. Did his demons exist when he was filming? Like when he was in, I know that when he was in, I don't know if it was Pakistan or Turkey, and he would talk about how great the hash was there.
Yeah.
But I know he also had struggled with drugs and alcohol. Like, was he struggling with drugs and alcohol during the decade that he was filming Parts Unknown?
So there's a great book out there, and it's by his field producer that was with him when he was with the Travel Channel all the way to CNN. And this guy was his like right hand man, and he took years to come out with this book because he struggled with it, because he's like, I don't want to profit off of my friend's death, but I think people need to hear. Yeah, well, and I think that was part of it, but he knows that they needed to hear it. And the book was called In the Weeds, What's Buddy's name? Hang on.
Because I would be bugging my producer to go find me blow in Miami. I really would.
So his name was Tom Vitale. Tom Vitale, and Tom was his producer. Like he was his director on like anywhere they went. He was with him. And the book In the Weeds, it's an audiobook. It's a paperback, but you got to hear the audiobook because he actually talks about it where they like, even when he's talking about like on the radio, like 5 minutes of Tony, 5 minutes of Tony, he does that into the microphone on the audiobook. Like he's like what the radio would say when Tony was coming somewhere. But it wasn't about the drugs. Yeah, he drank like a fish when he went away. Yeah. And there's so many episodes where he's absolutely fucking knackered. And then he talks in the morning. They come back to him right away in the morning. And that was one of his favorite things to do. Yeah, it was one of those favorite things to do was to go in the morning and get shot hungover because he's like, I'm so fucking, this sucks. I need to find something that's going to soak this up. And he'd go and get like a hangover breakfast and a red eye. Or he would go to Amsterdam and Amsterdam was when he was with Travel Channel and they told him you can't smoke weed on TV. So he didn't. He alluded to it so bad, and they did like the weird fuzzy camera things and everything else. He's like, but he never actually said it, and they never showed him actually smoking. But he got fucking high as tits, and it was, those like. He loved it and it was great. So yes, he did. He had the battle with heroin. He was a heroin addict. He was a smack junkie. He was a fucking cokehead. He was everything. But really? He gave it. Yeah. He gave it all up.
Well, when people say they gave it all up, they sometimes don't.
Well, no, they did. His toxicology came back because he did kill himself. He killed himself while they were filming an episode of one of the last Parts Unknown. It's actually, I don't think that episode ever aired. It was the one right prior to it. And they did show, I think, clips of the Paris episode that he was in. He was in his favorite little hotel. And it was one of those, you can tell. And if you watch, and people have pulled it apart, where he would actually refer to hanging himself in a hotel bathroom in more than one episode. If I got to do this again, I'm going to hang myself in the hotel bathroom. They're going to find me dangling. I'm going to be a smell in the hotel, he would say, like shit like that. And that's how he ended it. So that demon always chased him. And this one, I don't think was drug related. I think it was, he was with a new partner, not the mother of his daughter, but, and she was, they had kind of broken it off. There was an on and off thing. But that was literally the love of his life. And it had just come out a week prior in rag magazines that she was dating somebody else and pictures of her with that guy. And a week later, he killed himself. So I don't think it was drug related. And that's the thing. Those demons were there all the time. But I think that one was actually just heartbreak, and which is like the most heartbreaking thing. He had the life, right? And we all say that. We all look back. We all look at it like, you had the life. What the fuck? Why weren't you happy? You can't say that to anybody. You don't know what makes people happy, right? So that's what's gonna, like, what kills somebody is what makes them live, And if that thing that makes them live goes away, you're dead. And that's what
you're in the most romantic city in the world,
and it's his favorite place. Yeah, and it was well known that it was his favorite spot to be. It was almost like it was predestined, and it was almost like he was planning it, and that was where he was going to do it.
Oh, he didn't know how. He didn't know. Listen, I think I will never kill myself. I literally won't. I have way too many things to say.
He had a daughter too, which he used to talk about all the time and loved, like more than anything. Like he would go shopping on the show for his kid, with his kid in mind, and say, I'm bringing this home to my daughter. This is going to be great.
Yeah. And you know what? I just came back from putting my daughter to bed. This is why I was a little bit late coming up, because she had trouble sleeping because she went to the Killaloo Fair. She didn't get here until around her grandma didn't drop her off until 8:30, which is just way too late. Like, it's just silly. Like now it's like, hey, nice to see you. Let's go to bed. And we were I was trying to put her to sleep, because she's 7, but she still likes it when daddy like waits until she falls asleep. So I do it. And by the way, I'll fucking do it until she's 20 if I can.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm not going to co-sleep with her, but I will wait till she falls asleep, because it's the greatest feeling on the planet.
It really is.
Just lying beside her and she says, don't leave daddy until I'm asleep, okay? It's like,
Yep.
fucking right, honey. And I literally say
I'm
that.
not going anywhere.
Right, honey. I ain't going anywhere. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
They know
Yeah.
daddy has a potty mouth, but luckily they
Mhm.
don't emulate it. But the last thing that she
Yet.
said to me, yeah, no, well, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Like,
Oh no, it's fun.
I'm
It's
an
fun
Osborne.
now.
I'm an Osborne.
Mine
Yeah.
just turned 17. So when we
Oh,
have
shut up.
conversations just about normal things,
Yeah.
and to hear her say, oh, you know, and then this fucking guy, and it's like, and I laugh like inside. I don't do it out loud, but inside
would
I
do it out
laugh.
Yeah.
I remember when she was like 2 and she lost a ball under a couch and she couldn't reach it. And we were I said, don't help. Let her figure it out. Let her figure it out on her own. And she just kept going back and forth to the back of the couch, to the front. This happened at my brother's house. Back and forth, back and forth. And finally she got so frustrated. She just stood up. Fuck it. And she was 2. And my mom came apart. And I'm telling her, don't fucking laugh in front of her. It's funny as hell, but stop fucking laughing.
I laugh.
You can't encourage this, right? It was so funny. So now that she's 17 and we have normal adult conversations, to hear her swear still gives me that little pang in my stomach. It's like, it makes me think of that day. It's like, that's my little girl. Like, you know, and then, but no, she's a grown ass adult who got way better marks in high school than I did. You know what? You could say fuck. It's okay. Like one of those. So I get it. Yeah, 100%.
When my son was 2, he dropped something in the lake and we were at the cottage, and he rolls his eyes. 2 years old. He rolls his eyes. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Right? Like, that's 2 years old. And I'm just like, oh
yeah, you
God.
can't laugh, right? You can't laugh because they'll just keep doing it.
I know, and he got it obviously from he could have gotten from me or Michelle, or
right.
I don't know which one she got it from, but nonetheless. So tonight my daughter's like, she couldn't sleep, right? Like we went for a walk at like 9:45. You know what I mean? Like
just to try and
tired.
get the beans out.
And then she's like, Daddy, can I put my hand on your beard and fall asleep like that? And I'm like, fucking right, you can. So she puts her hand on my beard and she's like, and she's starting to fall asleep, and she's like, her eyes are getting heavy, and she goes, you know what, Daddy? I'm like, what? She's like, I had a dream the other night that I had a boyfriend. And I'm like, uh-huh. And she goes, and you killed him.
Jesus.
And I'm like, I start
Kids
laughing.
say the
And I'm like,
things.
I start laughing. And I'm like, really? I'm like, why did I kill him? And she goes like this. She's like, because he was a donkey. You said in my dream that he was a donkey, and we had to kill him because he was a donkey. And I'm like, was I right? And she's like, yeah, he was a donkey, Daddy. And she was so and just telling me this, and I'm like, and I couldn't tell because sometimes I can't tell when the kids are telling you what you want to hear versus what they really dreamt. Because my daughter would know that, like, what would make Daddy happy? Oh, I know. Him killing my boyfriend in a dream, like, because I have a kill list, right, for my daughter. You know?
Yeah, I know we've talked about this before. It's hilarious.
I know you guys want to go, but can I just pour another drink and we?
No, 100%. We'll say goodnight after
Besides,
that.
Douglas
And,
I too have to go.
yeah, so do I, Douglas. I promise. We'll wrap in. It's 11:30 now. Can we aim for 11? It's 11:32. Let's aim for 11:40. Let's do an uneven number for this podcast. How about that? All right, we'll get 8 minutes. Can we last 8 more minutes? Do you think?
I think I can manage.
I think so too. What's going on with you? What's going on with True North Eager Beaver? Anything fun? Anything you want to like promote? Anything coming up? Do we have any like special surprise guests that we need to hear about? What's going on?
Not a surprise guest because I already announced it, but tomorrow morning we will have Laura Babcock on. She's amazing, and
Laura's from here. Laura's known here in Hamilton for years and years. Actually, I produced Laura's show back when it was a cable access show in 1997 for Cable 14 in Hamilton. I was doing co-op there in a high school, and Laura was part of that. And then she went and did her own independent thing with her YouTube channel plus her whatever. She's like a navigator. She has a company like Navigator.
Right.
Same idea.
Power Group.
Power Group. That's what it's called. Yeah. And her husband is a cameraman for CBC.
Nice.
Yeah, Rob. Rob's a good dude too. So, I don't. He follows me on Twitter. He might actually even be seeing this at some point. So hey, Rob. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy small world when it came to that weird collision of content creators.
Yeah.
So yeah. So she's on tomorrow, is she?
Yeah, we're gonna have her on tomorrow because like she has PR background and like mine is too. So we're gonna geek out on that. Just try to look at all the angles, what could be there as a result of this. And apparently, we will be. It's going to be 11 o'clock somewhere. So it's not going to be a dry show for Laura and myself. I can't speak for Mr. Grizzly because he actually has to go into work. But I work from home.
What are we gonna do? Can we know what is there a signature cocktail?
We'll be having mimosas because.
Oh, mimosas. Okay. Well, it's Friday. It's Friday. It's okay.
It's 11 o'clock somewhere.
And it's Friday.
As I am the Queen Beaver, I get to determine when drinking starts in our realm.
Oh, are you kidding? I'd be a monarchist if you were my queen.
Drinking never starts late or early. It starts precisely when the queen wants it to, so it's always on
time. Were you here earlier for the conversation about the HP sauce?
No.
It's because it was by the appointment of the queen is why they made HP sauce. So that's why I said you can't complain about it. The queen wanted it, and the queen gets what the fuck she wants, right? So, oh my God, I forgot about that.
I know the only one for me.
Yeah, could ever be you. Yeah. Holy shit, I totally forgot about that.
Please slather me in HP sauce. I'll taste so juicy. Yeah.
The only thing HP belongs on is eggs. In my opinion, it does not go on a steak unless it's steak and eggs. That's an exception. But it's a breakfast sauce for me. But yeah, it's that's funny. I totally forgot about that commercial. That was like the first time you ever saw somebody like animate a cow's mouth.
Yeah. And then you had the other one with the cow and the pig, and the cows were like those. No, sorry, it wasn't HP. It was some of the thing of butter or something like that. Of course, I'm not a natural blonde.
Yeah. Oh, I miss old TV. You know what I love doing. Speaking of this, while we wait for James, and again, we're off into the weeds, but whatever. I love at Christmas time, and I do this on my Twitter. I do find compilations, and I'll make a compilation myself if I can't find one that I want of the old Canadian Tire Scrooge commercials.
Yes.
And if there's anything that ever brings me back to being a kid at Christmas, it's those commercials. Like those commercials, any sort of Canadian, like the Bay, Sears, Eaton's, the old Eaton's commercials. Like they used to get these crazy Christmas. They used to like go all out at Christmas for their TV ads, and watching those on Christmas Eve when I'm half corked and the Christmas tree's on, everybody's in bed. I'm still sipping on an eggnog and rum. I will get weepy thinking about my mom, knowing that was when it was. Like that's how we used to, like. My favorite memory in the world, like it's a core memory, is going out on a damp, slushy, but snowy Christmas week. Like so, we'll say the 23rd or the 22nd. Going out, cutting the tree down somewhere at a farm, bringing it home, my mom popping the popcorn, us sitting on the couch with the needle and thread for the popcorn going. And don't get me wrong, my mom's tree was like Vanity Fair fucking Good Housekeeping worthy trees, but she always had to have the popcorn on there. From when she was a kid and they had no money, the only way you could decorate a tree was pop popcorn and put a string through
that too.
And so we always did that anyway, right? And on the TV was always Looney Tunes. There was a Looney Tunes on like a Saturday afternoon or whatever. And it didn't have to be a Christmas one, but it was the Looney Tunes, but then it would be broken up by those Canadian Tire commercials and those consumers distributing commercials and the Sears commercials. And watching those now as an adult without my mom, right? Like my mom's been gone since 2011. That will send me into an emotional fit, especially on Christmas, and I'm eating a Nanaimo bar because my mom would make those at Christmas, and I'm drinking an eggnog now, of course, with rum in it, but back then it would just be an eggnog, and it would bring me back to that, right? So it's hilarious. As soon as you did the HP song, I was like, damn it. It's funny what gets imprinted in your brains, like as a media
jingles, commercial jingles.
Yeah,
always.
I can't remember what we had for lunch 2 days ago.
I know. I have conversations with people because, and I don't usually do it like on my show. Sometimes I'll do it like this, but usually there's either a song or a TV commercial jingle or a tagline for something that just pops up that I just want to blurt, like, you know, it's like somebody says, well, he likes it, hey Mikey, or you know, or it's like when, or Alex asks me, like, you know, I can go back from curling, how did it go? And I remember that quick commercial, we lost again. Right?
I just saw I saw a post not long ago about the Mikey kid. Somebody had caught up with him and took a picture of him. Yeah. And I love when people do that, when they find people from commercials that I remember from the 80s and 90s, and then they find them today, and they're just like, I work at like a Blockbuster or a fucking gas station, you know, like they're just normal people. And it's like, but you're fucking famous in my mind. Like I would ask you for an autograph if I went and paid for gas and I saw you. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. Do you realize how big of a part of my fucking childhood you were? You know?
Yeah. All these either jiggles, like even songs. Like I even remember the announcements for the KTEL records.
Oh my god.
Like they would like list all the songs, but then they'd only like play like 7 seconds of a song and then 7 seconds of a song.
Islands in the stream.
That is what we are. Everybody considered him the coward and the you need to know.
Yes, it's fucking wild. It's crazy though.
And you know the 3 songs in link with just the 7-second clip, and you know, so you hear you're out shopping with it. You need to know where to go. Islands in the street.
No, that's not the next line. Exactly. Right. Exactly. That's so funny. James, we came to a consensus while you were gone that we were actually going to end the show a minute ago. But you literally went to a distillery apparently to get a drink.
No, I don't smoke in the house when the kids are here, so I went out for a smoke.
You made liars of us.
What's that?
You made liars of us.
That's another one, Douglas. Bee Gees were always in that. They were always on those commercials. Yeah, absolutely, they were.
Favorite. I was weaned on the Bee Gees.
We're just talking about how
all the lights out, pillows on the floor, all the candles on, like this. Nobody gives too much love.
early in the show tonight, before you guys both joined, we were talking about HP sauce. It came up because we were talking about Trump with his well-done steaks, and somehow we got onto the HP, and then Douglas started singing that old HP commercial. Remember where the cow was singing?
I do.
Moo 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 moo. That one, the only one for me. Yeah.
Ryan, before we go, please tell me that weird goat thing that you had, that clip, you can find it on your computer.
Not right now.
Play it on a podcast. What do you mean not right now? Let's just look in your downloads.
I did. There somewhere. I did last time. That wasn't there.
Why, do you delete things?
Oh yeah. No, I have, or else my computer ends up like yours. So yeah, I delete things.
I'll have you know, this is the inaugural podcast with my new laptop.
And I know, and it's been perfect.
I went with an Asus VivoBook. It's a sensible laptop. It's got an i7 processor. It's fast. Even with Elon Musk internet, my upload speed is like still 11.
See
which
that?
is good for Elon
Figured
Musk.
Elon abducted James again. Jay Crick in the comments thought you got abducted. That's where you were going.
Philip Morris abducted me this time, but yeah, no, it's my kids, and you know, it's really funny. Like my laptop is it's so strange. So just full disclosure, and I'm not going to go into super detail because I know you guys want to go or whatever.
I'm going to say the same as you. I know exactly where you're going with this, and you're right. I won't even let Ashley use this to do any sort of things on. This is strictly a podcast computer, the one that we use down here. Nothing else goes on this.
Well, do you know what geofencing is?
Yes.
So I've been geofenced.
Where?
At my house.
By who though? Like, I mean, like, in what regard though?
So my calls are my phone. My previous phone was completely compromised because it was in the hands of somebody
Right.
that was related to somebody.
Yeah.
Under the guise of they would secure my data because my phone was like roasted by a charger cord, which I later found out is like the easiest way to like get someone to give you their phone so that they can put something on your phone. My computer had keylogger spy software on it.
Yep.
Everybody else that came in here had problems with their devices. I was geofenced, right? So even this computer is probably like being monitored as we speak because I can't figure out because I live in the middle of nowhere where the triangulation is coming from. Now, I report on cults. Okay. The Plymouth Brethren Christian Church is a very, very rich organization.
They do have a lot of weird shit going on.
No one has done more podcasts about them than I have.
Yep.
But at the same time, I've exposed people who diddle children. I'm about to expose a pedophile that I know very well as a person who has diddled children because I am tired of being like on the receiving end of aggression from this.
Are you talking about like right now or like on a podcast soon?
Not right now. On a podcast soon, right?
Okay, I was gonna say I want to go to bed.
Eventually, yeah, exactly. Because eventually you have to fight back, right? Like eventually you have to expose,
100%.
especially when it comes to protecting kids, right? And you don't know how difficult it is to know that your privacy has been invaded for over a year now.
That's a horrible feeling.
Yeah, especially when you're as kinky as I am and you think that you're in the privacy of your own home. It's not good. It's not good at all, right? Like there's a lot of
those poor hamsters.
This person had access to my right, you know.
Those shaved gerbils have names, everybody. Those shaved gerbils are people too.
First of all, it's not hamsters, it's ferrets because I don't play. Just kidding.
He removes the stink sack.
I declawed them. But really at the end
they can only eat soft food now.
You get to a point where you're like, if I'm gonna get like completely abused by somebody, then I'm gonna fight back in the only way that I know how, which is with truth, documented evidence of this person's sexual abuse towards children, and it's just the way that it has to be. And I'm not going to say
somebody we'll all know, by the way.
Not. You know how like Norm on Cheers, everyone knew Vera's name, but no one ever saw her.
Or like Maris on Frasier.
Think of it like that.
Oh boy!
And the reason why is because eventually you have to fight back. Like you have to fight. And by the way, for the good of the children that are being abused by this person, and for the abusive nature of people just like that in general, you have to like call them to task. You can't just. I had a strategy for a long time where it was just like, if I do something, the domino effect will impact other people that shouldn't be impacted. And now I'm just like, I think there's a way to do it where the other people, children sometimes don't get impacted. And it just goes back to the person that perpetrated these crimes. And it makes it so that they are being held accountable. Wow. And that's where I'm going with this. I'm going to start a bunch of Plymouth Brethren podcasts again, eventually, where like in the next 2 weeks. Where I'm going to continue to try to give women and men, because they chemically castrate gay men, Douglas, in the Plymouth Brethren Christian Church, right? So I'm going to continue to expose pedophiles and child sex abusers of all kinds, not just within the Plymouth Church, but within people in my own social sphere that I feel deserve to be held accountable for their actions. And I feel like this is a great move for me because I love my kids so much. And I love children so much that when I'm at like a Killaloo fair or like a sporting event or something like that, you know how sometimes random children come up and hug you?
Yeah.
When they do that, I look right at their parents and I pat them like this on their back so that they know that I'm not one of those fuckers. You know what I mean? Like because when you're a child like I was and bad things happen to you, and when you know children that bad things happen to them and everything, you become hyper aware of like not wanting to have any misunderstandings or anything like that. Like, and I'm going to be on a mission in 2024 to really be that guy that like gets drunk on casual Fridays, but exposes pedophiles on manic Mondays. You know what I mean? Whatever the fuck, right? Like,
but do you think HP sauce belongs on eggs? Or
I do not think that.
Right.
No.
Okay.
No.
The
only thing that belongs on eggs is crushed chili flakes, black pepper, and salt. That's it.
We can jam. We can have breakfast. I'm down with that.
I got to tell you, my daughter calls it daddy. She's like, daddy bacon is the best bacon in the whole wide world. Even my ex, funny, I should mention her after my tangent just now, but coincidentally, even my ex would say,
Maris,
that I make perfect bacon. Like, I make bacon where it's like I hate crispy bacon. I just don't understand it. It's like well done beef. I just don't get it, right? Perfect bacon is bacon that you cook over like medium. Where did Ryan go? Did he eject himself?
Sorry, what did you say? What did you say about crispy bacon?
And
you like
crispy
gummy
bacon.
You
is
like gummy,
well
chewy bacon?
Okay, well, there's a green pasture in between
We
rubbery
found it.
bacon. I have found it. So this is what you do. Right?
Yes.
You take thick bacon and you cook it on like just under medium heat. You got to flip them shits like 4 times.
You guys is so wrong. You're all wrong.
No,
about this.
but listen, cracked
if you're not
black
cooking,
pepper.
if you're not cooking your bacon in an
just
oven, you're wrong.
Just give me this.
It's okay.
If you tasted my meat, you'd understand. Douglas understands. He's seen the meat.
He's seen your meat.
But if you see your bacon is this long, if you can touch the tips together, the frottage.
It's called docking, by the way. Docking your bacon. So you dock your bacon
without the bacon like splitting. Also, without the bacon being all springy, that's when you have perfect bacon. Perfect bacon is tender. It's like veal if you cook it right. It really is.
I can go for that, as Hollow Note said, but at the same time, I found, and I've never turned back, that cooking bacon on a fucking rack in an oven is the only way to cook bacon. It really is. Frying pans are not a place to, and you get a rack that lets it drain into the pan, and then you can save
you have to have a cast iron pan with the ridges.
But you can save, and you can and you can save your grease for your eggs, and you can save your bacon fat for potatoes and shit like that. Absolutely, I'll go with you that I don't want it overdone, and I don't want it underdone. I definitely don't want it underdone. I would rather have the crispy. Yeah, I get it. Okay,
you're a daddy.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I get it.
Before we go,
I've always been a big fan of Daddy Bacon.
You are Daddy Bacon on this show, baby.
Your daddy.
You're not a beaver here. You're Daddy Bacon now. That's your new name here.
That's my rap name, Daddy Bacon.
Yeah.
Ryan, I know that you're not drunk, right? Are you drunk right now?
No, I've had 2 drinks tonight. It's a school night for me, so I can't get crazy.
Do you think that it would be possible for me to get a on-air commitment that you probably don't have to keep because it's just content? I want you guys to come out. I want you, Army Kris, Douglas, sometime in either June, July, or August to come up to here. I will feed you. I will get you drunk. I will buy everything.
You don't have to. You don't have to threaten me with a good time. You know that's going to be a thing this summer, 100%. Ashley and I have already talked about it. We said that we've got. There's already plans in place.
I'm
Douglas
only coming
isn't far.
Up and grind together.
And although I want you to meet,
that's my condition.
Although I want you,
I'm going to put my marriage. I'm going to put my marriage in jeopardy with you, Douglas. So yes, I'm coming. You're damn right, I'm coming.
I have a cloning machine for Ashley.
That's the title of your poor tape. Goddamn right, I'm coming.
I'm coming for Big Daddy Bacon, baby. I want Big Daddy Bacon. I'm not fucking around here.
What month?
Yeah, no, we're coming. What's that? Sorry.
The whole pig. The whole pig. You get the whole pig.
June, as I found out, and I brought this up earlier in the show. June is going to be a fuck month for me with my big person, my adult job. July and August though, look the fuck out. I've been to, I've told you, I have friends that have cottage space up near where you are, and I've always loved that area. I love that area. and why we didn't do it last summer, I don't know. I think we were planning on trying to do it.
Crazy last summer.
You were a bit crazy, but we also had some cool plans for a podcast last summer up that way, and it didn't happen. But you know what's going to happen this time is I'm bringing gear. I'm bringing
gear means Coke in my world. What do you mean by gear?
No, I mean like podcast gear. Like my entire podcast kit is coming with us, and we're doing a roundtable in person for finally the first time. Is what we're gonna do. I'm bringing the mics. I'm bringing the board. I'm bringing the cameras. We're gonna
Ray and his wife are welcome too if they're.
Of course, yeah, 100%. But as long as you don't need the commitment from me, I need it from Big Daddy Bacon, and make sure him and his sweetie are coming, and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna. I think it'd be great. Time. I think so too.
And by the way, I kind of need it. Like I don't have a friend. I don't have a friend with 400 miles. This isn't a pity party. Like
no,
I have a lot of friends. I talk to them all the time and everything. That's great.
But we're coming.
You guys here, like I've never met you in the flesh.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's a weird thing about like I think you two are like two of the only ones that I'm tight with, like from our experience here, like this weird world we live in, that I haven't met in person. That the only ones that I actually want to. You know, that I really want
get
to
Lachlan here to come with Army Chris. That would be amazing.
God. You would not.
If Locke came with Army Chris, though, I wouldn't survive more than 3 hours before I would be like have like liver poisoning.
Army Chris is fine. Army Chris is a good guy to party. You would, and James, because I know you. You think you can't fucking deal with Lachlan for an hour podcast? In person, it would be 15 minutes. I promise you. Lachlan is a lot. Lachlan's like a lot in person.
Really?
And but like in a fun way. But I know you.
I think being at my home base, I'd be okay. If I was in Edmonton, it might be a little different.
I got to tell you, when and we talked about we're gonna do the Eddie trip debrief finally. Army Chris and I talked about it on this show actually earlier tonight too. Was like because we brought it. Remember we were bringing up pictures like Jimmy and shit last time we had him on the show, and we said we never really did that podcast that we said we were going to do, and we have all this content. You're going to see what it was like to be in Edmonton, an Ontario boy in Edmonton with these fucking diehards. Like these guys were they humbled me when it came to partying. Like I've never been humbled.
Chris is going to be like, how did that little man put down 3 bottles of wine? And I'm going to be like, the sausage and peppers. What the fuck? No?
He literally lives almost every day with a man that's half of the little you that can put you under the table because he did it to me.
Look, I don't think it's a badge of honor to be able to drink more than other people, so I'm fine.
No, but I get it. But it's impressive when they're that little. Like
I'd love it if
Jimmy.
came.
Oh, Jimmy's a blast to party with. Just so everybody's aware, he's one of those guys though. He's a firecracker. You light the fuse, it explodes in a glorious fucking glow and sound, and then just disappears immediately.
So that should be a weekend where I don't have my kids.
Yes. Oh God, please have no children near this. It's no children near this one.
That would be very bad.
Yeah.
And when you guys arrive, I'm going to give you a pair of panties, and you have to wear them or you go home right away.
Yes, I don't care.
I'm just kidding.
Don't threaten me with a good time, baby.
I'll lend you the panties. Just kidding.
Is
Douglas frozen? No, he's not.
I want to see Big Daddy Bacon in those panties. Anyway, guys, I gotta jet. I have to go. I love you, and thank you for everybody that joined tonight. Like, holy shit!
Can I put this on my Blackballed?
It's already on there now. Yeah, if you want to put it on the
Apple and Spotify and all that. stuff?
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Just a reminder.
Yeah, throw it up again.
Yeah, I'll throw it up again. Dude,
number 45. I think you should be.
Canada,
I think
45 for 45.
Give him.
Douglas,
give him his fucking.
I think you're higher up on that rankings, aren't you? I think you're.
I don't know. I don't.
Give him his flowers. Give him his flowers.
The reason why I'm proud of it is twofold. One is that I am just getting back into the saddle, and by the way, Ryan, I love you because I owe a lot of it to you because you're there for me as a producer. You're like my casual Friday co-host. And whenever I want to do something, you're game and doing it. Douglas, You're always there when I need you on Casual Friday, unless you have a play or whatever. But like without you two guys, and by the way, I'm not saying this isn't a speech of like I'm ranked 45, and I'd like to thank all the little people. I thought when I went to go check it, because the first time I checked it in months, I thought I'd be like 250. But I realized that the reason why I'm 45 is because I have friends that like, dude, we have 334 people watching live right now. Like again, this is,
and we're talking about nothing.
I know.
We're literally talking about fuck all. We're talking about bacon and pedophiles. You know what I mean? Like it's hilarious. And this is what this is a good show. And I agree with you. I'm very happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to watch this grow. I'm happy to watch your success, because what you do outside of what we do together is actually what matters on this channel. Your interview today with the Gitmo attorney was fucking aces.
Did you watch it?
Your interview with Marco while I was dying on a bathroom floor the other day that I couldn't be a part of when I wanted to be.
You saved that podcast though, because
you saved my life. Like your show was what I was listening. My phone was on the sink counter while I was like hugging the bowl with I'm thinking it was food poisoning. I don't know. I had a bad pho that night, that afternoon at work. Like I had pho and it was like, and it tasted weird and there was seafood in it, but it was like, it's still good enough to keep eating, I think. And apparently it wasn't. But yeah, that was fantastic. Even though your internet crapped out, David Wallace fucking totally took the reins. As soon as he read your text saying you host now, it was like a switch flipped in that guy. And watching him control that fucking conversation was absolute masterful.
Good.
When you're not prepared to host a show and you're able to do that on the fly, that's good stuff to me.
It also proves that when James would just shut the fuck up for an hour, things will go okay.
Oh God, it was such a good show without you.
I didn't say it this time.
Yeah, it wasn't you, Douglas. Yeah. No, but seriously, and actually it's funny, I tasked Ashley with something tonight, and I said to her, I need you to, because all of my stuff is still branded Getting Sauced. I said, I need you to come up with a more general topic, sort of idea, name, YouTube channel, a different brand identity for what we're doing, because I don't want to be pigeonholed to the food stuff, because we are having a lot of fun doing stuff like this. I don't want to get locked in the politics. I like what we do. I like our just like we did tonight. Tonight was a bit of a test for me on doing just hey, something came up fun in the news, let's fucking open the mics and talk about it. And it went really well. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. That I'm not going to get rid of Getting Sauced. Don't get me wrong. I love Getting Sauced. It's always been my thing. That's where I started. It's never going to go anywhere. I'm still going to like produce content for that, but I want to do almost like a casual Friday kind of idea, but just like Ashley and I host. You guys are obviously always welcome in any house that we have as hosts as well. You know, like that kind of thing. We're doing that. We're working on it. We're gonna have a good time. So I'm just glad to be a part of you, and I celebrate you. I keep using the term giving you flowers. I'm giving you your flowers now. You deserve them. You work hard. You've come a long fucking way from where we were a year ago to where you are now, and it's like watching a phoenix come out of the ashes. And you're doing a fucking fantastic job, and I can't wait to see what you have planned for the rest of the summer.
I owe a bunch of that to you, and honestly, like I thank you for saying that. Canada Day weekend is what I'm suggesting to come up here, because
that's not a bad idea. Yeah, you know what?
Right,
sure.
Get the fuck out of Dodge. Get the fuck out of cities.
Oh wait, hang on. Douglas has plans that weekend. Okay. All right.
Well,
let's
from out of town Canada Day weekend.
Okay. Well, let's talk off the air. We'll talk off the air, and you know what? We'll plan an event. We'll actually fucking promote it as a good podcast. It doesn't. It might be live. It might not be. Who knows? We'll see. But we're gonna do some.
My birthday's July 9th, so if that works, I don't know. That's the weekend after Canada Day weekend.
So maybe the weekend after. We'll go the weekend after.
And it will be great, because for a decade, my tradition in Toronto on my birthday was to invite 10 to 15 people over and then cook them sausage and peppers and a pasta and salad. Oh my God. And I just and that was it. My sausage and peppers, fennel seed, like authentic Italian sausages.
I make my own sausage. If you want, I can make Italian sausage and bring it, and I'll give it to you to make your dish with if you want. Yes. And then we're all kind of contributing.
Oh, done. July 9th.
All right.
Let's do it. All right.
Let's do it. Okay, you know what? I'm locking that in right now.
Okay, good. I'm gonna hold you to it, and I'm gonna play
Yeah.
this clip over and over again if you fucking back out.
No, I'm locking it in. But because technically this isn't technically a blackballed, I'm not going to close with blackballed. I think we should close with Bobby McFerrin's daughter again.
I
if
think
you
so,
guys
too.
are okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So for getting
big thanks to Ryan Lindley, big thanks to Douglas Connors, big thanks to Ashley Lindley, big thanks to Army Chris.
Paul Atkinson jumped in. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, did Paul jump in? Sorry.
Yeah, Paul was here just before you got here. He did come in and offer some commentary on the Trump stuff. So it was really good. And you know what? Big thanks to everybody that showed up for this nothing podcast that we did tonight. Like, I'm so glad everybody's here. Like, thanks for coming and hanging out with us, everybody. You guys are great.
It was
like,
gold, Jerry. This show about nothing.
It's gold, Jerry. So follow everybody here on Twitter. You can follow James D. Fiore at James D. Fiore. You can follow me at Ryan Lindley on Twitter. And you can follow, is it CALMECAM?
Call him a cam.
Call me Cam.
Call me Cam. Yeah.
With
on Twitter. And look up the True North Eager Beaver podcast every morning. 7 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. They have a great show there as well. So yeah, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, Bobby McFerrin's daughter.
That motherfucker's guilty. 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 That motherfucker's